Gunline. That fucking cunt scared the shit out of me again. Gunline. Fire mission coming down, y'all. I'm your host, Lopez, and you're listening to the On the Gunline podcast, episode number 262. And welcome, y'all. I got Hunt here, the old co-host with the most, with the beautiful fucking... Man, I ain't lying. It's been a journey seeing that hair growing and
the luscious locks. Let me
bro, that shit. These are times I wish I was black so I could grow hair like that, man.
No, so I'm actually about to get them dyed. I'm gonna get not all of them. So not all of them. I know you probably don't know who King Von is, but like I like the way he had his shit.
Okay.
So not all of his locks were dyed like blonde from the root to the end. But I'm gonna have those same like little things with every so many of them. And since the school I'm going to, they had their services over there, and they need models. I volunteered. I was like, hey, listen, just so many, just dye them blonde. So when I get them a 2-strand twist, she's gonna be looking. Plus with the whole new addition to the face.
Ah, no, man, I saw that shit. This motherfucker's culturally appropriating everything.
Culturally appropriating basic white bitches.
You gonna start motherfucking drinking some goddamn pumpkin spice lattes next?
I'm gonna start drinking some fucking White Claw.
There you go. Hey, no law of White Claw, baby. Hey, I heard that shit's pretty good too, man. Hey, thanks for being here with me today, brother. I know the weekends is tough for us. We all got things to do, but I do appreciate it. We were hoping to have another visitor here with us today. Unfortunately, I guess, logistically wasn't able to make it. If he does make it on, cool, because I think this was going to be a minute. Hopefully you got time. I got a couple of things on my head that I want to discuss, and I like bouncing my ideas off with you because you give me different perspectives sometimes that I can think about. And like I always said, man, we're not here to change each other's minds, but maybe somebody who's listening can get something from it and make that mind. But there's also times that you make me see things from a different perspective. Then I'm like, oh, you know what? I didn't think about it like that. But first things first, I do want to call out my squad on Call of Duty, Pink Flamingo 77, motherfucking Mayhem, Mattop, and E-Rock. Yo, y'all shoulders are fucking strong carrying this guy right here. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all know that I'm basically, when we play TDM, which is Team Deathmatch, I'm basically that guy that goes out there to get killed to expose where everybody else is so they can get those kills.
The sacrificial lamb.
There you go, bro. I am the sacrificial lamb.
You're the scapegoat that the Israel Hebrewites had to put their hands on and send to the wild.
Bro, I swear to God, I get my ass killed. So I barely respawn, take 3 steps, and I'm dead. Like, what the fuck? I swear to God, these motherfuckers got cheat codes. I don't know how it works, but I keep getting my ass murked. Maybe I need to hardwire instead of go off of Wi-Fi. I don't know if that's what it is, but I'm getting tired of playing like ass. But what sucks is when I play, free-for-all, I'm good because I'm top 3. Maybe at the lowest will be 5th. But that's because I ain't looking for a little fucking green dot or blue dot to see if that's my teammate.
You look for everybody, like fucking
yeah. But on this one, on Team Deathmatch or rank play, I gotta stop, pause, make sure I don't kill them up. By that time, I'm dead. You know what I mean?
You must be playing hardcore, because if you don't, if you're playing hardcore, I just play regular Team Deathmatch. So if I shoot them motherfuckers, they just shot. Ain't shit happening.
Oh no.
Everybody getting it coming through this motherfucker.
Oh no,
fuck friendly fire. Everybody getting this bitch.
I do hardcore. But what I hate about hardcore now is that it used to be 1 shot, 1 kill. Now I shoot a motherfucker like 60 times with a motherfucking 249, and it just shows hit markers. And I'm like, what the fuck? And all of a sudden, this motherfucker shoots me 1 time.
I know you ain't with that basic ass white girl frappuccino. Latte.
Yes, I am. I'm culturally appropriating too. It's a nice coffee, all right.
Holy fucking shit.
Hey man, we gotta get this shit started on the right way, man. And listeners, thank y'all for being here. I hope we're getting y'all day off smiling. We're gonna go ahead and move on next to some things I want to talk about. First things first. Yesterday, Hunt, during your live, you did something that inspired me. There was a first sergeant that we once had who legend says would recite this every morning in the shower, prior to going to work when he woke up. and that's the creed of the non-commissioned officer. All right. Legend says that while you're in the shower, sometimes if you're very quiet, you can still hear First Sergeant Brenton
MB.
reciting the NCO creed.
Yeah,
So
of OMB reciting the creed.
yes, sir. And so the reason I want to do this is because as I've been watching TikTok lately, I think a lot of these non-commissioned officers are forgetting that creed, or they don't have to recite it anymore. You know?
I'm glad you said this because, and I hate to take this over, but
No,
I'm
you got it.
passionate about this. I am not, like you said, I'm not a vet, bro, by any stretch of the imagination. I got it. I'm out, and I live my own personal life. But semicolon, however, comma, that shit, I don't know if it's just because of the NCOs that I had when I was at Fort Campbell, or first with 277. And I know people be like, oh, let it go, let it go, let it go. But no, man, like I bought in heart and soul to what that was supposed to be. And I got it. I'm not saying that I was fucking Audie Murphy out this bitch. I'm not saying that I was a perfect non-commissioned officer. I fucked up a lot, but I still respect what the Corps is supposed to be, especially when it says that at all times I will conduct myself so as to bring credit upon the Corps, the military service, and my country, regardless of the situation in which I find myself. And this is what sucks, because the non-commissioned officers are the biggest violators of certain fucking shit. The biggest violators of SHARP, the biggest violators of EO, the biggest violators of the bullshit going on now on TikTok. You do not see the commissioned officers conducting themselves the way that the non-commissioned officers conduct themselves. And it's just the United States Army. I don't see this shit when it comes to the Air Force, the Navy, the Marines, the Coast Guards of the galaxy. I don't see this shit.
Bro, you called it. And you hit the nail on the head, right, motherfucking there. One, I will say I'll disagree with you on one part. I've seen Air Force chiming in. I've seen sailors here and there chime in. But yeah, Army and Army is by far the biggest. The jarheads will not. That one, if that's one thing they have, is pride in their fucking core. You know what I mean? That they have pride, and if they do say something, they're not in fucking uniform. You know what I mean? And but we're gonna step into this creed of the non-commissioned officer real quick, and I'm gonna go ahead and recite this for y'all, for those that have never heard this. Give me 1 second. You all right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So, anytime that you become a non-commissioned officer, when you're inducted, not indoctrinated, when you're inducted into the Corps of Non-Commissioned Officers, you're given a piece of paper which has our creed on it. Now, when you're a specialist or a high-speed PFC, and you're trying to become a non-commissioned officer, not just a stripe-wearing piece of shit, but when you want to be an actual fucking non-commissioned officer, you start reciting this to learn it. All right. And there's 3 letters to it because it's 3 paragraphs. And that's
Stanzas.
NCO. That's correct. 3 stanzas. So the creed of the non-commissioned officer goes like this. No one is more professional than I. I am a non-commissioned officer, a leader of soldiers. As a non-commissioned officer, I realize that I am a member of a time-honored corps, which is known as the backbone of the Army. I am proud of the Corps of Non-Commissioned Officers and would all times conduct myself so as to bring credit upon the Corps, the military service, and my country, regardless of the situation in which I find myself. I will not use my grade or position to attain pleasure, profit, or personal safety. Competence is my watchword. My 2 basic responsibilities will always be uppermost on my mind: accomplishment of my mission and the welfare of my soldiers. I will strive to remain tactically and technically proficient. I am aware of my role as a non-commissioned officer. I will fulfill my responsibilities inherent in that role. All soldiers are entitled to outstanding leadership. I will provide that leadership. I know my soldiers, and I will place their needs above my own. I will communicate consistently with my soldiers and never leave them uninformed. I will be fair and impartial when recommending both reward and punishment. Officers of my unit, will have maximum time to accomplish their duties. They will not have to accomplish mine. I will earn the respect and confidence as well as that of my soldiers. I will be loyal. You hear that? Loyal to those with whom I serve, seniors, peers, and subordinates alike. I will exercise initiative in the absence of orders. I will not compromise my integrity nor my moral courage. I will not forget, nor will I allow my comrades to forget that we are professionals, non-commissioned officers, leaders.
You know what's so striking about that? The word "we" only appears in there once. That's at the end, because the majority of that is talking about what I'm going to do, not only for the Corps, but my soldiers. But the last part, when it says "we," that's the thing that brings everybody together and has to be the bond that lets us know we're in this together.
Yes.
But individually, it's I'm doing this for the Corps. I'm doing this for my soldiers. I am placing their needs. Everybody else is above my own. But the last things that I'm going to say before I close this out is we, as a non-commissioned officer corps, we are not going to forget. This is the only time we is in it. When we when the creed is wrapped up and it says, hey, listen, so now that I told you what I'm going to do for my soldiers, now we're saying what we are going to do as a collective. And they don't take the pride and understand the pride in this, man. And it's fucking frustrating.
You know, it's a trip that you say that, because here's the thing. I agree with you 100%. As far as like, when you're out there, you're not just representing yourself. All right. You're representing all fucking NCOs. And if you act like a garbage NCO, garbage in, garbage out, baby. You know what I'm saying? Now, we all know that there were some NCOs out there that were just stripe wearers. They just cared about the motherfucking pay and they didn't give a fuck about anything else.
There's three.
Break it down.
And I take this lesson. I take this lesson because I learned this from the 277 days. You have the pay grade. I'm only worried about the money. That's all I'm worried about is the fucking money from the top. That's why you have motherfuckers that do not want to be a corporal, because you want the money that comes with the responsibility. That's number one. The E4 corporal through E9, they only want the money. You have the NCO. The NCO is the one that's worried about being buddy, being too lackadaisical. You're an NCO, aka the strike wearer. But the non-commissioned officer is the one that's going to be fair and impartial. The one non-commissioned officer is the one that's going to know that I separate myself, my personal life, from that of the soldiers. The non-commissioned officer understands that, yeah, I can have a social media. Soldiers don't need to know my social media. Soldiers don't need to know what sergeant, staff sergeant, sergeant first class, master sergeant, so-and-so is like outside of this app. Other than if you see me doing things that are beneficial to the United States military in uniform, because I'm still that same person that you see working, and everybody else sees the same person. But on a personal level, they don't need to see me anything else. They don't need to do that, because now they're going to feel like they know me. They're going to feel like friends. I'm one of your boys. Now you're going to feel like I'm an NCO instead of a non-commissioned officer.
You know, and 100% on that. You know, what's the trip is like, these non-commissioned officers out there, these NCOs, these young buck fucking sergeants. I know when I was a young buck sergeant, you know, I was a little bit, I was trying too hard. You know, as I was a non-commissioned officer, I was trying too hard. I was out there trying to be like what I thought a sergeant was supposed to be like, you know what I mean? But that's because, you know, just to try to make my separation between my my peers at the time and becoming an NCO. I thought that's what I had to do, you know, in order to get that separation going. And with time, you know what I mean? It turned into something that was a little bit easier, that I didn't have to be an asshole all the time. You know what I mean? What I did end up learning was I did end up learning to go in as an asshole, I guess you could say. When I first got to another unit, if I got to another unit or to another section or another platoon or whatever, yes, I would always go in there. First thing I would do when I got to another unit, I would stand back and I would see how everybody conducts themselves, how all the other NCOs conduct with their sections and all that just within the platoon. Then what I would do is I would go ahead and once I got to my section, I was a pretty much hard motherfucker. I was going in there as an asshole. I didn't go in there like I'm a fuck all you motherfuckers, blah blah. That's not what I mean. What I went in there is like, all right, check this out. I'm your section chief. I don't like the spotlight on me. I want to make sure that this gets done, that get done, that get done. Just do what the fuck I tell you to do, and we'll be all right. You know what I mean? And if things didn't get done the way I wanted them to, then things would not go right. But that was at the beginning because I had to set the tone from the get-go. One thing I learned through my time as an NCO was it's easier to go from being an asshole to then relaxing yourself than going all calm and relaxed and then trying to fucking hold the standard down hard, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So to me, it just
Yeah, I know.
to me, it's leading with iron fist with a velvet glove. All right. So Walt Disney, by the way, said that. So yeah, man. And
Oh God, Disney.
hey, that's my man. Oh, did I just do that? Oh, there goes this shit's gonna get demonetized. I'm just saying, yo, that man was cool. I was not doing a Seek Heil or anything like that. Anyways, but yeah, man, I just trip out when I see this TikTok shit out here. Specifically, I saw that one young lady that you sent TikTok of. She was a E5 of all things, and she was a sergeant, and she was talking about how can I put this?
So this is, and I'm sorry to interrupt you,
You got
but
it.
I
Go
sent
ahead.
you one. I sent you hers, but I don't think I sent you the original content creator that she was responding to because she was a Sergeant E5. So the to give everybody a background, because I didn't even send you this thing, there was a Sergeant E5. She was a 92 Yankee, and then her fucking soldier, and they did this little TikTok talking about like it had a sound to it. And then she wrote a caption talking about she don't care if the first sergeant's mad because they're not there or whatever. Now there's a sergeant major on that app that corrects soldiers. And she doesn't, she just, when I say she gives them warning and be like, hey, listen, this is violating this policy. You need to take this down. Boom, boom, boom. The sergeant major is a paralegal. So not only are you a paralegal, familiar with the United States UCMJ, you're a whole ass major. And she does this. She only gives warning. She's not an asshole about this. She was like, hey, take this down. This isn't cool. This isn't right. This is the policies you are violating. Correcting somebody, correcting right. On the spot corrections. And what happens is you have fucking soldiers, you have some staff sergeants who want to be buddy with motherfuckers. You have all the sergeants. They're like, oh, she's wrong. This, that, and the third. This is why we don't like the Army. Blah, blah, blah. You can't, everybody wants to take shit serious. Blah, 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 blah. And then you have some of the staff sergeants and the senior leaders that are like, yo, she's warning y'all what the fuck's going on. Like, it's a warning. She's not telling you, she's not throwing her rank around. She's like, hey, listen, man, this is a warning. You need to take this down because, like, even though I'm not coming at you sideways, somebody else can. Like, take this shit down. She is trying to save these non-commissioned officers' career, but they don't appreciate it. They don't expect that. They see her doing this to just being nagging, this, that, and the third. And it's like she's literally, she cares about soldiers and non-commissioned officers, and she's just trying to save y'all. Because, like another motherfucker said, everybody that's agreeing with you right now, when the shit hits the fan, they're not going to be standing with you on that red carpet.
Exactly.
They're not going to do that 45, 45, and 45 days extra duty, 45 days restriction, having them heels locked at 45 degreeing on that red carpet. These young NCOs do not understand that, yes, from the time that you are a corporal, E4, to the time that you are a sergeant major, you have the same authority. You have the same authority. You don't have the same sphere of influence, but you have the same authority. That corporal has the same authority that sergeant major has. They do not have that same sphere of influence. People do not understand that.
like you said, I'm gonna bring this back a little bit to what you were saying about, you don't see the officer corps doing this, because the officer corps, you know, they know that they have a lot to lose. You know what I'm saying? And because they know that, especially they're being under a microscope on their leadership. You know what I mean? They're fucking leaders. And one thing that you do wrong is gonna fucking automatically just bring your leadership quality views down. You know what I'm saying? Think of it as a Yelp review. You know what I'm saying? And some
Yeah,
of these
yeah, this
NCOs,
shit is hard. It is crazy to be an officer. The
they don't.
shit, the scrutiny that they have to go under.
These NCOs are not taking their
Absolutely.
motherfucking jobs seriously. They're not. They don't understand that as a sergeant, there's gonna be a private that's looking at you like, I want to be just like that motherfucker right there. All right. There's no bigger motherfucking influence on a young private than seeing stripes. That's why when you're in basic training, you are in awe of drill sergeants. You know what I mean? Because to me, that's like the epitome of a fucking soldier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that
So,
staff sergeant. Ooh, that staff sergeant was it for me. Like I didn't give a fuck
mhm.
about no sergeant first class, no first sergeant. This staff sergeant, that motherfucker, staff sergeant Dinger, staff sergeant Fent, those were it. It was like, damn, man. Like,
Because
yeah, and then
the
I got to my unit and I seen Sergeant Cummins. I was like, staff sergeants, yeah. Sergeant Smoke Bowman was cool, but goddamn, man, these goddamn staff sergeants, these motherfuckers right here, boy.
data shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you were talking about yesterday, you have your platoon daddy, you have your section daddy and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, Hunt. Here's the thing. Motherfuckers blurred those lines out so much that they thought they could be friends. You know what I'm saying? They thought they could be friends. And that's where shit got fucking twisted. Because, like, okay, there was a pecking order once upon a time in a section. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to talk to Chief, I got to talk to my gunner first. You know what I'm saying? And then from my gunner, then he go to the chief. And then chief would take it up to Smoke if it needed to go there. And from there, it'd go to first sergeant if it needed to go there. You would never go talk to Smoke on your own. Ever. You know what I'm saying? You might say what's up to Chief. You can talk with Chief. Chief's cool. But you ain't going above Chief. You know what I'm saying? God forbid you go talk to another chief outside of your motherfucking section about some shit that you going through. Because chiefs are a tight fucking group of motherfuckers. Now I'm talking about section chiefs. All right. And we talked. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, there used to be a pecking order. Now there's not. Now motherfuckers be talking the first sergeant like, what's up, Top? God forbid you in the first sergeant written like that back in my day. Mm-hmm.
You know what's crazy? Like at the time, but Brendan was kind of open, man. Like he probably talked shit. Like, yeah, I see the bar thing.
But go ahead.
Yeah, so Brendan was actually kind of cool, man. Like Brendan was open to do it. But I don't know if it was just for the NCOs or what, even though I was a corporal at the time, but Brendan was open. He would have went and told, but he was still open. He wasn't going to hold it against nobody because Brendan actually cared about soldiers. That motherfucker cared about soldiers. I'll give him that.
Yes, he
that
did.
Motherfucker cared about motherfucking soldiers.
Here's the thing, Hunt.
That motherfucker, I'm not going to say too much shit, but when I say he cared about soldiers, I know shit that a lot of people don't know in that battery. When I say he cared about soldiers, him and the highest ranking, he went to war with somebody with people over the highest ranking motherfucker, and you know how he was. He went to war. I know personal stories where he went to war with them behind closed doors.
Oh yeah, and here's the thing, man. I mean, he set the standard for all the rest of my first sergeants. Like I can name. I think I had pretty fair first sergeants all across the board. None of them were what I would think. Well, there was one that I know that was incompetent as a shit, but he fucked around and got his supply sergeant pregnant, who happened to actually be married to one of his soldiers. But anyways, I'm gonna leave that right there. We got 1 minute before I have to send out this new one. We still good, right? Because we ain't even hit the tip of the iceberg. Yeah. All right, cool. Just waiting for Hunt to get back on here with his cheap ass track phone. Anyways, I'm gonna see if he wants to go ahead and do his TikTok live. Hey, y'all, if you guys have TikTok, do me a solid. Follow me on there. It's OTGL_podcast. OTGL_podcast. Oscar Tango Lima Golf _ podcast. OTGL. That way I could get up to 1,000 and I could start fucking finally going live. But yeah, as we're talking here about, NCOs and that fucking app, it reminds me of one of the first lessons I learned as a corporal. My section chief at the time was Staff Sergeant Aguayo, little short dude, ears. He's from Texas, here from San Antonio actually. He was my section chief, and one thing he did, he chewed my ass out one day. While we were in formation, I had done something stupid. I fucked up somewhere, and but he chewed my ass out, and then afterwards, he pulled me aside and he's like, "Hey, Lopez, I need to tell you something, man. My apologies for what I just did to you. What I did was wrong. I shouldn't have done that to you in front of the platoon. Not supposed to do that to other NCOs, in front of the Joes, because they end up losing respect or authority for you." So, he taught me that, and then he put me in my place, and we discussed it. But that was my first lesson as an NCO, and it came from somebody else's wrong, But one thing I learned was to be humble. That's something a lot of NCOs don't know how to do nowadays. That, and also have your NCOs back, right, wrong, or indifferent. Have their back. You don't dog them in front of the other Joes. What you do is you go ahead and explain to them, if you're gonna fucking chew their asses out, you chew them out away from an audience that can see that happening. And that's a lesson that I learned. And once Hunt gets back and he's on, which I see he's on, you good to go?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I was just letting the peoples know, one of the first lessons I learned as an NCO. The reason that this affects us so much is because we didn't just look at it as a duty position. All right. We took care of our fucking soldiers. It was a thing like, yeah, it might seem sometimes like we're hovering over y'all, but it's only for your benefit. You know what I mean? And so what I was saying was, one of the first lessons I learned as a non-commissioned officer, I was a corporal at the time in Korea. And my chief at the time, my section chief, his name was Staff Sergeant Aguayo. And he dogged me. I'm talking about he made me look like a fool in front of the fucking platoon. All right. And then afterwards, he pulled me aside. He's like, "Hey, you know what, Lopez? What I did was incorrect, was wrong. I'm sorry." He apologized for what he did. And then he told me I shouldn't have done that shit in front of the Joes, in front of the platoon, because it takes away from the authority. People start looking at you littler and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we had a conversation about the whole thing. And he said, "Next time, I'll pull you to the side. I shouldn't have done it the way I did it." And that was one of the first lessons I learned. One, be humble, because he was humble to go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? He didn't have to, but he did. And then it taught me never to dog my NCOs in front of the Joes either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even my other fellow NCOs. Like I was saying, right, wrong, or indifferent, you're going to have their fucking back. And then you'll take them to the side and talk to them like, "Hey, man, you fucking up."
Well, so some things that are wrong, you can't have their back on. You have to call motherfuckers out on. Like,
but
yeah,
I'm not
you know what I'm talking about.
I'm not going to do it in front of everybody unless it's like something blatant.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like blatant shit that is definitely going against UCMJ.
Like what?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be talking some harsh shit.
That's what I'm talking about. Like when you know that there is shit blatantly going on.
Mm-hmm.
If you know that, if you see, because no one, I don't care what it is. I understand how like times were back in the day. If you see an NCO putting their hands on somebody, you'd be like, "Yo, you need to grab him up. You need to." Well, I would say you need to break it up. You shouldn't just stand by and let it happen. You should break it up.
I mean, I'm gonna step in the middle and push him aside and be like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
But I'm not
and
gonna
then
sit here
you
and lie
dog
to
that
you.
motherfucker out.
I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say that I haven't seen situations where a certain soldier deserved to get his ass fucking beat by every goddamn NCO that was in that motherfucking room. I'm not gonna
We're in
say
the same. Yeah, If we were thinking about the same person, but yeah, but here's the deal. Like, once again, I can't stress this enough. I used to be a fucking garbage ass non-commissioned officer. No. I used to be a garbage ass E4 and E5.
First of all,
and I was struggling as an E6. No. I'm being 100%.
Don't put yourself fucking. Don't put yourself
garbage.
down. Don't put yourself fucking down because of what these fucking criteria. These motherfuckers are crybaby motherfuckers out here saying that, oh, they're so toxic. Oh, no, because I remember you as a fucking young corporal or a young sergeant would come out there with us when we were out there motherfucking doing guard and shit like that. And you would chill with us, shoot the shit with us. You wouldn't fucking work as hard as us, but you even fuck around and just spend time with us. You know what I'm saying? Dude, there's a fucking difference between a motherfucking leader that is there and a motherfucker that's leader by name only. All right, so don't put yourself down like that. There were plenty of motherfuckers out there that were just stripe wearers.
I know
you were not one.
I know some too, but I still was not it, and I know. I was still garbage.
No,
I'm not.
Don't consider yourself garbage.
I'm talking about two.
Man, your fucking audio's
to the point where when before I got out, and even when I was at Fort Sill.
And this motherfucker went on mute all of a sudden. I don't know what's wrong with his audio. Goddamn Obama track phone.
It has to be it has to be my fucking shits because these are old as fuck. These my headphones are old as shit. It has to be them because it's only the audio.
Oh, this motherfucker just turned into a chipmunk and oh, there you are. Can we hear you?
Yeah.
Ah, look at them luscious locks.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we got you now. You know what you should have done? See if you can do this. Can you go live on your TikTok? And I'll try not to get us kicked off like I did last time. Because I do enjoy seeing the reactions or listening to some of the comments that come from there, especially with the next conversation we're going to be having. Because the next thing I want to go ahead and talk about is continuing along with the lines of being a non-commissioned officer and leadership. I want to continue with this conversation. We're going to move into the next topic, which I call favoritism and racism. And this is going to go along the lines of that same young lady who was saying something about non-commissioned officers and people of color and don't think you're all uppity because you got rank on your chest or shit like that. And that one kind of struck a chord with me because how can I put this? 9 times out of 10, you're going to be judged on the caliber of your work, not on your skin color. All right. That's going to be 9 times out of 10. And well, the reason I say 9 times out of 10 is because, yes, there is still some motherfuckers out there that are racist. But I'm not going to say that there is only white people. That's a lot of things that people like to say that it's only white people. Nah. There's racism within every fucking race in the military. All right. I've seen it all. I done seen it where I know there's cliques of white folks that do not like black folks or any other. I know there's cliques of motherfucking black folk that hate the white man like a motherfucker. All right. And I know
them Puerto Ricans are worse, man. That Puerto Rican clique. Ooh-wee.
And then Puerto Ricans, they make sure that only their Boricuas are the ones that are going on the motherfucking boards and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So, believe you me, I know that it's there. It exists there thoroughly. And don't give me this bullshit that racism is only by those that have power over you. No, shut the fuck up. Racism works in every. Don't give me that reverse racism. Racism is racism. God damn it. I know. I was an EO, and you know what? And so was he. So, anyways, I want to talk about that because you and Petty were having a conversation on the TikTok regarding certain people being like put in certain positions because of the race. Or in the way I see it, I mean, it goes like that throughout every race, though. And that's why I think it's like a favoritism versus racism. Do you remember that conversation you and Petty were having? I think it was last week.
Not really, but this is what I'm gonna do, man. Like the very next time I do go live, especially when I have 100+ people in that live, I just need you to pop up, and I'm going to demand that they follow you so you can hurry up, get your live access, and you can join in on these conversations, man.
They ain't gonna.
No. It's important. I do want you to join these conversations.
Well, see, the thing
because,
is, like, go ahead.
The thing is, like I said, man, no, I don't want everybody to agree with every fucking thing I say. Like, no, like I literally go into quote unquote opposition's lives so I can talk to them. And we've been knowing each other for what, 18 years now?
Damn near 20 years. Yeah,
You know
man.
what I'm saying?
Our friendship is
Damn
legal of
near
is of
two
legal age.
decades. Yeah, damn near 2 decades. We don't agree on shit. We go back and forth. Even on your platform, we go back and forth, and we will not budge in certain things, but certain things we will say that I will split the baby with you.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. I'd rather have people that I can talk to where I can be like, you know what? I'll go ahead and split this baby.
Yeah.
But I'd rather hear somebody's opinion about some shit so I could possibly start looking at things at a different perspective.
Different way, the different perspective, right? Different lenses. Because sometimes, looking at it from the grass isn't always greener. Sometimes we romanticize shit. Sometimes we think shit because we want to think it that way, but it's not that way. Just because we think it's that way doesn't mean it really is that way. Is it really something that is affecting, or is it something just in our mind that we are making it bigger than it is? And that's just in the grand scheme, big picture. I'm not saying that it's not a big deal to us. Yeah, I'm from here to our 100 yards, but is it a 300-yard motherfucker? Anyway, in my mind is making sense what I'm saying. But no, I mean, we're having this conversation about, how certain people get put in certain positions or get promoted and da. And I was thinking, well, I'm sure that there's a lot of people that have gotten promoted just based on being black, and that's what I wanted to say when y'all were talking about it, because we're talking about like centralized or DA centralized fucking or just DOD selection boards, for example, right? So yeah, that's what y'all were talking about. And y'all were saying how and I'm paraphrasing here, but this is all shit that y'all were talking about on the TikToks, and it was along the lines of like certain, as y'all like to say, white tea. Anyways, certain people were, yeah, certain people were getting promoted ahead of others. And here's the thing. The military is a big fucking organization. Okay. The majority of the organization is going to be a certain race, ethnicity. All right. So yeah, when it comes down to promotions, it's going to seem that way because they're going to have more of that fucking bundle. All right. Who are promotable. Now, if they they fit the criteria, it's going to be more of them that are available. So anyways, what did they implement? Well, we got to pepper in some people of color in there. You got to put some spice in that fucking flavor. You know what I'm saying? It can't just be all bland. So yeah, there were a lot. When I saw Sergeant Woods, if you made me Sergeant Woods on right now, when I saw that he was Sergeant First Class Woods, okay, you tell me how that shit fucking creeped on through.
Bro, I didn't know Sergeant First Class. So at this point, I know somebody had it in for me.
Oh yeah,
like,
bro.
I know. No, I know somebody had it in for me because like your drill sergeant, who was my first sergeant, looked at my shit and he was like, how the fuck are you not promoted right now?
Right.
He looked at all my NCOERs. He was like, yo, how the fuck are you not promoted? He, like, I love this man. I love Scotty J, Scotty Jerome to death. He just took over. It was like 2-3 days after he took over. And I said, first sergeant, when you have time, do you mind going over my records? The board's about to come up. You know what this motherfucker did? Bro, Scotty J was like, sit down, Sergeant Hunt. I got you. And I said, hold up. I was like, first sergeant, I see you busy. I can come back later. Like, I ain't got nothing to do. It's too easy. He's like, no. This is what I do.
Exactly.
I take care of non-commissioned officers. Sit down, Sergeant Hunt. We finna go over your shit right now. Went over my shit. He was like, go turn this in to S1. Luckily for me, right? So our battery was right here. S1 was like right here, like literally this close. Paraphrasing. Like if you ever been to Fort Sill and you know where the fucking where the Bullock was at, or first of the 30th was at, first of the 30th was at, where Alpha Battery was at. It was Alpha Battery. I won't even call it a parking lot. That was a walkway from battalion.
Right.
He was like, yo, go turn this shit in right now at S1.
Mm-hmm.
Did that shit. First Sergeant Moriarty, another motherfucker who was like, he was like, yo, Sergeant Hunter, what the fuck is going on with you? He was like, there's no way you shouldn't be Sergeant First Class right now. He looked at all my shit. He was like, what the fuck is going on? His exact words. He's like, Sergeant Hunter, what the fuck is going on?
Mm.
He was like, you should have been Sergeant First Class. He was like, there's no way you shouldn't. He was like, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, first one, I don't know. But if Woods made it, there's no way I shouldn't have fucking made it. Like, I ain't hating on Woods.
Oh
That
no,
just goes to
I'm
show
hating
me
on Woods.
the powers that be that did not want me to be there.
Bro, I mean, and it happens like that. It happens like that. You know what I mean? How the fuck? And I mean, it's always, you must have pissed on somebody's Cheerios. You know what I'm saying? Unless you had like a Gomar or Relief for Cause.
Nope.
You know what I'm
Nope.
saying?
Neither one. No Gomar, no Relief of Cause. Didn't have it.
So I mean, because I trip out now. Like I seen a lot of my privates when I came, that when I was a chief already, or I was E4 and above, like some of them are smokes and first sergeants. Now I saw one that's a first sergeant. I'm like, God damn, that's some high speed shit, and I'm proud seeing that shit. You know what I mean? It just makes me wonder, like, what position? I would have been happy just to make sergeant first class. I would have, that was my goal. Sergeant first class. My goal was to be a drill sergeant. I don't give a fuck about anything else. I just want to be a drill sergeant. But anyways. But yeah, first sergeant, God, Scotty, showmaker. His name is
Scotty J. I love that motherfucker.
So he was my drill sergeant showmaker, and that motherfucker, he was back then, there wasn't a Google back in 04. All right, 04,
it was a Scotty J.
But there was a drill sergeant showmaker, and that motherfucker could recite the goddamn ARs and fucking FMs. That is mutiny and desertion. I'm like, what the fuck? He was just spitting out shit. And of course, after a time you learn that this is shit that they have to learn anyway for drill sergeant school. But still, the man was awesome. He was good shit. He was evil looking at first, but that's always the first couple of weeks in basic training anyway. But I ran into him in Afghanistan in 2012, and he was a first sergeant, I think, out of Hawaii, maybe. And he was a cool ass dude. He was like, "Hey, private, you were one of mine, weren't you?" I was a staff sergeant by then now, actually. But he was like, "You were one of my privates, weren't you?" Like, "Yes, I was." He's like, "Yeah, we did you wrong in Delta 122." Yep, they did, but they weeded out the week with it. And if y'all look, I see Hunt is frozen, but it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna continue on here. Favoritism versus racism, man. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. There were times where I preferred certain people in certain positions. But it had nothing to do with the race. It was more towards who was qualified or who I felt better around. Like, okay, I'm gonna give y'all an example, okay? And I'm not saying that this was because he was white. I'm not saying that at all. All right. I'm just saying I would happen to be a section chief at the time. And so there was me. My gunner's name was Velasquez. And I needed my ATC to be on point because this is my first time chiefing on the 119er. All right. So I needed my ATC and my gunner to be on it. I wanted to go certify. Well, the person who they were going to leave me with happened to be Jones. Jones, if you're listening to this, it wasn't because you were white. Because he always told me, "Chief, you got rid of me because I was white and you wanted to keep all Mexicans." Well, I needed to keep Reyes, all right? Reyes, I needed to keep him because Reyes, he had been in the 119er world the whole time. He was an E4. He wasn't an E5, but he was an E4. But he knew his shit, especially when it came down to fucking getting that shit air assaulted. You know what I mean? Because one thing to certify on a 119er, you got to know how to air assault that bitch. They don't. It's not like the Paladin where you just got to fucking follow a few things. Nah, you got to know all the links count. You got to know how to get that net ready. There's a lot of shit to do. And unfortunately, Sergeant Jones was on a maneuver platoon when it came time, when he did his stuff with 277. So he didn't know much about the 119er. I was a weak chief when it came down to the 119er. So I'm going to need a strong gunner and a strong ATC. The ATC does his job in a 119er, unlike the Paladin. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I kind of had a little bit of favoritism for Reyes because he knew what he was doing. And he just happened to be Reyes. My skin complexion. And that had anything to do with it. But yes, Jones. I had to send you to the maneuver platoon so I could keep Reyes because they wanted to send Reyes to the maneuver platoon. I was like, hey, first song, mind if I keep him for these reasons? You know, I justify now, but I can see how in Jones's eyes, I kept him simply because his last name was Reyes. You see what I'm saying? So that's where I guess it seemed racist, but it wasn't racist. I don't know, but I'm saying what I did want to say was this: with the racism thing, you know how with the DRB, or whatever they're called now, they're supposed to black out everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's going to help?
I think it will,
with minorities,
because now, like, I think it would help with everybody across the board, because we're not, even if they black out. So say they give somebody just their last four, right? So the only thing that's on there is the last four. So we're blocking out names. We're blocking out ethnic groups. There's no more DA photo. There's nothing to show any kind of ethnic bias, whatever, biased name, whatever, to a person. We are solely looking on the merits. We are solely looking on if he is one of 8 or one of 6, one of 3, one of 4. Then, you know what I'm saying, we're looking at that. We're looking at the schools. We're looking at the achievements. We're looking at the actual attributes to what those bullets say. That's what we're looking for. So I think that we should block out everything. Last 4 only, the achievements of that person. So we looking at it. They're looking at boom, 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 boom. Okay. Well, 2263. Give 2263 the position. 2263 deserves to be promoted. He deserves to be in this next class group of promotees.
So with that said, just based on numbers alone, there's more males than females. So females will probably start filling it because there ain't going to be no like, oh, we need to have X amount of slots for females.
I think you may be talking about combat arms. No. I think you may be talking about combat arms, because like some women can actually do, they are, we don't know, like we were artillery. Right. So we don't know the intricacies of the 92 Yankee, 92 Golf, 42 Alphas, fucking water. We don't know like all the other non-combat MOSs where some of these women soldiers are doing more than their male counterparts.
Oh yeah, where they're predominant.
Because let's face it.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, we were saying like we don't know what we don't know, but I guarantee you, like there's certain, like you said, man, even with the test, because you know, like with combat MOSs, with the new PT test, there's certain requirements that have to be done. There's certain time frames that have to be done, right? You have to do XYZ many more sprint, like for the sprint drag carry. It has to be a certain time because you are a combat MOS. So they're trying to make it combat
really
MOS
like
specific.
Is it?
If I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I would like. I'm gonna love to hear that, because if it is a MOS specific PT test, that would be great. That'll weed out a lot of motherfuckers, male and female.
Yeah, if it is perfect world and it's done like that, yes. But so you do know that there have been women that have tried out for a Ranger school and have not made it, right? They just didn't make it.
Right.
We understand that there are male soldiers who have tried out for Ranger school and have not made it. We also understand that there is only a handful of women soldiers who have tried out for Ranger school and have made it.
Allegedly. No, they made it. No, they made it. But the reason I said allegedly is because from just, word around the campfire, some standards were not held to the normal standard that it would have if they would have been male soldiers.
So I can't speak on. I want to make one thing perfectly clear.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah, I was never a Ranger. I was never a Ranger. I was never a RI. I never went through that school. But when we talk about, as far as like, in an aspect that you were talking about, as far as like some people not being held to certain standards, I can speak as somebody that had to be out there early fucking mornings, even in the cold,
Mm-hmm.
watching these motherfuckers throw these 15 rounds in the honeycombs and then out of the honeycombs, 15 in, 15 out. So 30, right? We did not lower the standards just because they were male or female soldiers. It was, hey, listen, this is the time.
Like I said,
And there
I don't
were,
know. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know. That's just word around the campfire what was said. So I'm not gonna take away from if they earned their tab, they earned their tab. Congratulations, right on. You know what I'm saying? That's on their conscience. If well, they wouldn't even know. It would be the RIs that wouldn't know that shit. I don't know. Not my world, but hey, handle it. To me, my world is the artillery world. That's what I know of. Now, if y'all can hump some motherfucking rounds, let's hump them. Let's load them. As a matter of fact, there's a female I've been talking to on the Instagram who we DM'd and she's gonna come on here and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about her experience being a female on the gun line. And what's funny is, she said it herself, like, I I don't believe there should be some females on this gun line, but anyways, we'll talk about it when she gets here.
Yeah, I can't wait. I would love to be there because, like, I had a soldier. The first time I actually say I had a soldier, not a lieutenant, but soldiers, when I got back at Fort Hood. And then, I had soldiers I had a female soldier, just one. Yeah, she was the only one in my section before I became platoon sergeant.
Wait a minute. What unit were you in?
I was at 182.
For how long?
17 till 19.
You might know her.
Like,
I'm
I
gonna hit you up
fucking was like,
offline. I'm gonna hit you up offline
yeah,
right now.
yeah. I was like, yo, like, she was not gonna get back in the gun. Like she literally got a coin for pulling a string, and I'm like, no. The gunner, he was from Africa. He was the gunner. He loaded the round, put the powder in there, all that other shit, and all she did was literally pull the string, and she got a fucking coin from the battalion from that. And I'm like, no. But now, in contrast, there was a female soldier in my friend, my homeboy, his section, AJ. Shorty was. I'm friends with AJ to this day. We used to work out together. I still talk to AJ time to time. She's a cool ass chick, Dominican, cool ass motherfucker, right?
Mm-hmm.
We used to work out, like I said, we used to work out. We can talk about whatever the fuck. AJ is a wild motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
AJ set the standard for me when it came to artillery.
Mm.
And I shouldn't say to separate this, but if AJ was born a man, you would think that she would have been the perfect artillery soldier. AJ was that motherfucker. Throwing them bitches around like it wasn't shit. Willing to get out there, get her hands dirty. Willing to be that motherfucker. And she was working in the cat. She was working in the cat, throwing them 155s around. Pissed off, still doing that shit, talking shit like soldiers do. You know what I'm saying? But she would throw them motherfuckers around like it wasn't shit.
And here's one thing I'll say. I've never said that women can't do it. All right? I never said that women can't do it.
Yo, I know you fucking lying. I know you fucking lying.
Do I need to pause this?
That motherfucker know me. That motherfucker knows me. She fucking knows me. Man, I fuck with her.
Oh, okay, cool.
She a cool ass, she a cool ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
When I say I fuck with this motherfucker, we would be at my homeboy house. Man, tell her that Hunt's on here.
Okay.
She know who the fuck I am.
Okay. I mean, she'll probably watch this.
Section chief, yeah, she a cool ass motherfucker, man.
She out in Carson now.
Yeah, so she's the motherfucker. I tried to get her. So she told me she was at Carson. I was like, listen, I was like, yo, I got a homeboy, Ariano, who's at Carson. I was like, yo, I got people there. Let me know where you're going. I'm gonna have them look out for you.
Mm-hmm.
Man, hell yeah, that motherfucker right there. That's another motherfucker that, like, the women soldiers in artillery should look up to be. She is that. I hate to say that, she'll tell you this shit herself, but she that bitch. That's no disrespect, but she that bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Cool as fuck. She is cool as fuck.
She got that dog in her. You know what I'm saying? She got that dog in her, man. She about that life. I love her to death, man.
Yeah,
She a cool ass
she's supposed to
motherfucker.
be coming on here soon. I was talking with her a couple days ago.
She got that dog in her, man. Bro, that motherfucker got that dog in her. You would literally be like, some of y'all dudes need to be like her. That
You
motherfucker
know,
got that dog in her.
just from when I was talking with her on here, you know, she sounded like, because we know a couple of people. Artillery is a small world, y'all. It's a very small world, as you can see. You know, um, yeah. She happens to know one of my old privates, and she happens to know Jones, who I was just talking about too. Shit, I wonder if Jones was in 182 as well.
I don't know, but like I said, man, like I give her flowers. She's a AJ in my opinion. I don't know if they had beef. I think I don't know if they knew each other. But when I say she was one of the female soldiers that were willing to get in there, and it wasn't no dick measure to me when I looked at her. It wasn't no dick measuring contest. It was just about nah, man. Like this is who I am as a person. Like
Yeah.
I understand the role as being an artilleryman, and even now that she's not commissioned officer, she's a section chief.
Mm-hmm.
She understands everything inherent in that role.
So here's the thing,
Like
though,
I said,
Hunt.
she got that dog in her. She
Here's
got
the
that
thing.
dog in her.
What I've gotten from her, just from the vibe that I'm getting from her from just talking with her, she doesn't seem like the type of person that goes that extra mile to try to say I'm a woman and I can do this shit. She just I'm an
No,
artilleryman and this is my motherfucking job. And the ones that get on my
she don't
motherfucking
do that
nerves,
shit.
right? The ones that get on my nerves are the ones that like, oh no, nah, you know, I got to do things twice as hard because I'm a woman or because I got a pussy. Nah, how about you just do your motherfucking job and just get promoted on
No,
that
she's
merit,
not
you
like
know?
that. Even
Right.
even from what I kind of know about her, like growing up, like the sport she was in, she never used the fact that she was a woman
Mm-hmm.
to be like, I got to work harder than anybody else. She was like, nah, man, this is my work ethic.
Right.
This is me, AS, my work ethic,
Right.
and my work ethic is going to show more than me being a woman.
And
And
that's
like I
why.
said, man, I fucking love that motherfucker. We was at our homeboy house. My homeboy lived right around down the road from me. She used to come over there too. Man, barbecuing, talking shit, playing spades, playing fucking, just talking shit, drinking. Yo, she got that dog in her.
All right,
You
cool,
know what I'm saying?
cool. So then that means we're gonna have a good time with her on here. You know, have three chiefs out
Oh,
here,
she gonna talk shit.
and that's
She
cool.
gonna
I just
talk
want to.
shit.
What I want to hear is, you know, how her story was. You know, I'm sure she had to go harder than a lot of fellas. I'm sure she did. You know, because the army is the
Mm-mm.
army. But don't get it twisted,
She didn't
y'all.
have to.
And I told her already too.
She didn't have to.
No, but here's the thing.
She literally didn't have to. Her work ethic spoke for herself.
Right.
Her work ethic, she wasn't going, and I understand what you're saying, but how she was not like I have to do this. That's how she was. She didn't have to, in my opinion, it wasn't that she felt that she had to go the extra mile because she was a woman, because she's a woman. She was like, no, man, this is fucking me. This is
So
how I get down.
the thing about the thing that, you know, I appreciate about her is that I told her, you know, like, look, I have my opinions on about females on the gun line, you know, and I told her that I've taken a lot of shit for it. I told her, you know, I've had a lot of females that I reached out to ask them to be on the gun line on the podcast to come on, but they won't come on because I'm an asshole, I'm a misogynistic piece of shit, or you know, it's your mentality is what keeps us down. You know, instead of listening when I tell them, like, look, just because I feel this way doesn't mean that I still wouldn't, you know, be proud of having you as a soldier. I'm still going to treat you like I treat every other motherfucking private, because regardless of how I feel about a fucking standard or a fucking order, it's not my job to interpret it. It's my job to enforce it. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was a section chief, when I was still chiefing, that's when they were talking about bringing females onto the line. And I remember I took my section, I took them on, and we was out in the gun. We was right there in the motor pool, and I was like, "Look, y'all, they're saying we're gonna be having females coming here soon. Check this out. There ain't gonna be no motherfucking preferential treatment though. Everybody's gonna be equally treated the same. Shitty. You know what I'm saying? This person is not gonna have any special privileges, but none of y'all are gonna be talking shit about her either. That's gonna be your motherfucking sister. Do you understand?" And they were like, "Roger, Chief." I'm like, all right, cool. As long as we understand that, we're gonna look out for each other. You know what I'm saying? Regardless. I know how I felt. I did not want that extra responsibility of fucking, god damn, somebody's gonna end up fucking having a crush on her. Or, you know, who knows? Just, you know, just the plethora of what ifs. All right. That's what came to my mind. But at the end of the day, they're integrating, they're coming in. It is what it fucking is. So, but my view, I never said they can't do it. I said they shouldn't do it. But it doesn't mean that my leadership would change. It's not like I'm gonna treat her like shit simply for being a female. You know what I mean? Why I gotta be the number one man, bitch? Because you're the newest motherfucker here. That's why. The same way that these motherfuckers used to run naming polls, guess what? Welcome to running naming polls. Go run those motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, everybody got to run naming polls. At some point, you run naming polls.
Exactly. Oh, why I got to be the best party? Because you the newest private, and you got to learn. You know what I'm saying? That's why. So the biggest thing I was
Ad Vaughn for the 119er in Iraq. You know what I'm talking about? In Iraq during the fucking war. So I don't want to hear nobody talking about getting fucking Ad Vaughn for like, yo, this is during the initial invasion. Smoke Bill took us out there, that motherfucker, man. Like, you doing Ad Vaughn. Like, some shit pop up. Guess what? You fighting, hey, you infantry down, motherfucker. You know
That's right. That's right. So yeah, man. I mean, I really can't wait to have her on here, to be honest. I mean, she seems really cool as fuck, though. So yeah. With that said, though, what else did I want to talk about? Oh, did we talk about Mill Talk already?
Yeah, briefly.
Now I know what I want to talk about too before we go then. Let's talk about special forces and recruiting. Y'all were talking about special forces and recruiting, about people of color and shit like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think you were saying something along the lines of that they don't really show many minorities and shit like that, right?
They don't. They even look at it like this, man. And I hate to cut you off because I'm passionate about this subject. Fucking you mean to tell me that so they renamed Fort Hood, right? And I know how people feel about that. They renamed Fort Hood. You mean to tell me you couldn't have renamed Fort Hood after First Sergeant Benavides?
I don't give a fuck about that. I'm talking about special forces.
He was special forces.
We talking about recruiting special forces. We ain't talking about no Fort Hood.
No. We're talking about We're talking about the people actually in special forces. So recruiting is recruiting. We're talking about the people that actually make it through the special forces, right? Even if you look at David Goggins, Goggins was considered. I don't want to get this wrong, because and everybody, please, I'm not trying to seem like I'm the expert and I know everything, but tier 1 is only Dev Groove and CAG. Those are the only tier 1 groups, if I'm not mistaken. Tier 2 are going to be your groups and your teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe 75th.
Okay.
And I believe 160. Those are considered tier 2.
Okay.
Right? Sure. But tier 1, that's only Dev, Groove, and CAV.
Okay.
And CAG. But with them, like, people go do that, but there's just nothing in there. David Goggins even talked about that shit. Everybody know David Goggins. If you know David Goggins, he's not this victim mentality motherfucker. He's not. He is not. But when some shit happened with him and Dan, stay hard, motherfucker.
Yeah. He's the one that's always running
and then went to be a SEAL. Yeah. He used to be fat as fuck, and now it was a SEAL. Yeah. Dude was a SEAL, and actually he got Ranger qualified. He got his fucking tab.
So here's the thing. Now let's go to the recruiting portion of this whole thing. All right. Y'all were saying how there's not many people of color in it. All right. So here's the reason. Your target audience is who you're going to recruit to, who you're going to make your shit to. It's your target audience. All right. That's what it goes to. Target audience. Now, you don't think that motherfuckers in those special forces groups or those higher tier motherfuckers, those motherfuckers that do the pew pew pewing all the time, that go on those specific cool boy missions. They how can I put this? Usually white boys. You don't think they want to have more dark-skinned people, more brown-skinned people, because we fit the demographics of the countries that they're trying to go and fuck around with? Of course.
No. So there was this dude that I talked to briefly on TikTok, and he was like, listen, he he was a black dude, but he was conservative, and this is besides the point. But he was like, he acknowledged that there is a certain stigma in that shit because he was like, listen, man, I was infantry, I was a ranger, and he was like, when I graduated ranger school, he was like, there were whispers around the battalion. He was like, he was laughing about it. He was like, even the sergeant major would be like, Black Ranger, Black Ranger. He said there is a certain stigma when there's other people that do this. He said one, they talk about we don't swim, they're just all type of things. But he said the fact
that shit was funny. That motherfucker that said that shit on your live. That motherfucker said that.
Yeah. He was like, there's a certain stigma. Yeah, he was like, there's a certain stigma. He was like, so when they see this, it's out of the ordinary, even with them to see this, these people achieving this because it just don't happen.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, again, it's the demographic. Let's look at it. How many motherfucking minorities are there versus white folk in fucking infantry? Infantry land is usually all majority whites. They love that. They live
like
that shit.
Like killing.
You got
less than a minute, brother.
You got one more in you?
Yeah, let me go recycle this fucking Uncle Nearest and
right.
Get some more.
All right, let's go do that.
Just got out the fucking box.
Gunline, we are back.
The fucking board.
Gunline, we are back. And we're me and Hunt are having a fucking conversation here. We ain't gonna say no names. We ain't gonna say no motherfucking names right now. But I'll tell you what. We talking about a specific motherfucker who had no business becoming an NCO. Who had no business becoming a sergeant. And lo and behold, it turns out this joker right here took him to the board.
No, fuck that. We're talking about goddamn drill sergeant Disher. No, fuck that. Fuck being politically correct. And sometimes I'm gonna say fuck being politically correct. We're talking about drill sergeant fucking Disher. So for all you motherfuckers that know, right? I had to go and take that motherfucker to the board. I'm gonna tell y'all this fucking story because this shit's funny as fuck.
Let's do it.
You know what I'm saying?
So let me pepper a little bit of backstory here. All right, let me pepper a little backstory here. All right. So artillery, I keep telling motherfuckers, is a very small world. All right. I've known Disher since he was a private. All right. Disher, this might break your heart, Chief. All right. But when I knew you, you were not NCO material.
You're a piece of shit. He wasn't NCO material when I was there.
So I just want to throw that out there. You're a cool kid, but NCO. So when I saw you had a round brown on, it broke my heart. All right. It broke my heart because I wanted to be a drill sergeant. But anyways, with that being said, before you go to your story about Sergeant Disher, can I give you a quick story about Private Disher?
Yeah.
Oh God, check this shit out, bro. This is my first day this is like my first week in 277 Field Artillery out in fucking Fort Carson, Colorado. All right. And that's right, 277 Field Artillery is out in Fort Carson, Colorado. That's where I ended my unit at. It's funny how I started with 277 and ended with 277. But anyways, so I was the new section chief there, and we were all at COB formation with First Sergeant Amaral. First Sergeant Amaral was the new First Sergeant taking over there. As we're all in fucking formation, they call us to attention. All of a sudden, you hear, "Baby, you're a firework. Come on, let you watch it burn. Make them say, oh, oh,
oh, fuck."
As it go around the oh, oh, oh. And we were like, what the fuck is that noise? Bullshit you not. Disher's cell phone had gone off, and that was his motherfucking ringtone, y'all. So in the middle of motherfucking first form of COB formation, while everybody's all quiet, you got a cell phone going off. Disher pops up his cell phone, turns it off, and of course he gets clowned. And that sets up the rest of the stories that you're gonna hear about Disher. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. I'll say take your phone, but I forgot I forgot something. But take your phone. So here's the deal with Disher, right? I got to Union. I'm not gonna tell all the fucking crazy stories, but that's grunt shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's ready.
So yeah. So fucking. Yeah, I can. I just got to go get. I'm going to HEB right up the road and just go get some. I shouldn't eat red meat, but I'm finna do it. So later. But so I took Disher. So for y'all that know Staff Sergeant Disher, I am the culprit kind of behind that shit because like we just came back from the box at NTC. It was. So when I say came back from the box, it wasn't that exact same night. It wasn't that exact same night. So y'all forgive me. I may be a little bit of melodramatic. So it was maybe like 2 days after we came from the box. And Disher was a section chief, so they still needed, he was the E5 section chief, but they needed somebody to take him there, to take him into the board while we were at NTC. And First Sergeant Moriarty, this motherfucker loved me, and I love that motherfucker too, still to this day. He was like, yo, Hunt, you just shit. This motherfucker didn't fuck. Side note, Moriarty told our sergeant major, I don't care what fucking sergeant first class is in this battalion, Hunt is gonna be my motherfucking platoon sergeant. Like, I love that motherfucker. That motherfucker was like, he was blown away with me. I don't know what I did. I don't know if it was just my presence, because I didn't kiss ass. That may have been what it was. But he was like, yeah, nah, hey, I'm fucking with Hunt. He actually wanted me to go to deploy with them to be the platoon sergeant. He pulled me in his office because he wasn't being able to make it. And we had no, I was a staff sergeant in second platoon, first sergeant, the first platoon sergeant was a staff sergeant. He was like, I need you to go. I need you to take the battery. On all of my kids, on life, all my kids, he told me he needs me to be in charge of the battery. That's how much confidence that motherfucker had in me. Yes, a battery, staff sergeant in charge of that battery. So anyway, we got back from the box. I take Disher into that motherfucker, right? Yeah. So you know me, I'm a motherfucking clown anyway. So NTC, they had the whole battalion in one tent, and everybody's going up. The specialists first, then the sergeants. Yeah. And they're going by names, right? And so they get to me, I have my weapon, and I told my homeboy, I was like, watch this shit, I'm about to act a fool. So when they called for district sponsor, I'm at the back of the fucking tent. I got my rifle and I'm running, and I yell the battalion's creed while I'm running up there. Just started running and yelling at motherfucker. Everybody else literally was just, you know, they were just regular walking up there, boom, boom, boom. So I yelled the motherfucking battalion creed at the time. I can't remember that shit. And I'm running up that motherfucker, and boom, man, I get up there and I'm like, and they were talking to me for a second. It was like, who's your first sergeant? I said, the best first sergeant in the battalion, in the battalion, First Sergeant Moriarty. And another first sergeant asked me that shit, and I told him the best first sergeant in the battalion. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they was like, it was like, yo, I like this motherfucker, yo. They was blown away by me. Disher got up there just nervous and shit. I blew them motherfuckers away. I'm selling this motherfucker like I'm a used car. So
basically, he got promoted based off of your fucking attendance.
My bravado, me selling him. It was to the point that Moriarty stopped. He asked the sergeant major, he was like, hey, sergeant major, hold on, I gotta stop this. Pull Disher aside, talk to me and Disher. He was like, you better get your fucking shit together. You just digging in Disher's ass. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, motherfucker, I hyped you the fuck up. You over here nervous, stumbling around on shit. I got myself looking like an ass because I don't put myself on the line for you. You're not in my section. You're a whole section chief like I am. You E5, I'm E6. But I went up here just doing this shit, letting motherfuckers know that, like, damn, this motherfucker got confidence in this motherfucker. What the fuck? Yeah. Wow. Bro, this motherfucker went back to the tent because we got back in late because it was nighttime. And by the time we had got back in, somebody said something to him. It was one of my soldiers, the female soldier that I couldn't stand, said something to him. And he was like, oh, it's Sergeant Promotable Disher. Bro, I'm laying in my cot. And I said, shut the fuck up, Disher. I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to sleep. Loud as shit. I was like, you talking about Sergeant Promotable? I was like, yo, shut the fuck up.
Fucking Disher, man. Dude. Like I said, Disher, if you ever watch this, Disher,
man, I don't give a fuck.
I'm just saying, Disher, you were a cool kid, bro. I mean, I don't know if you matured or not, but when I knew you, I just could not see you as a sergeant at that time, bro. We had a song for him. All right. We made a song. It was called Go to Sleep, Little Disher. This was in the maneuver platoon for 277, bro. Trust me, it God, when I
Bro,
saw
he didn't do shit. He didn't do shit for his fucking section. I just got to the unit. This motherfucker was never in the motor pool. And I got it how fucking your gunner don't want you in there, but you gotta show face.
yes, you
You
do.
gotta put your hands on shit.
Yes, you do.
Bro, I'm over here. His gunner, which is a cool, I'm friends with his gunner. His gunner was motherfucking saw me as the section chief punching the two with my guys. And
You're
you know what
supposed to
his
do
gunner
that.
did? You know what his gunner did? His gunner started punching the two with his guys. He was like, "What the fuck?" Yes, because I was fourth section, Disher was fifth, and Johnny was sixth. So he see me because Johnny would be in the motor pool anyway. Johnny is just like me. We both staff sergeants. We understand it. I don't have to be here, but I'm here. That's what it is. You don't got to be there, but you don't have to be there, but you were there. You there right there with them motherfuckers. Get your hands dirty. If you got to get, sometimes, I ain't saying all the time, but sometimes that uniform got to get dirty. You getting dirty motherfucking too.
Hunt, I'll tell you what. Thank you for bringing this up because I wanted to talk about this. When I was in Fort Stewart, you know, we had got our guns, and by the way, I sent them the fucking link. It's on him now. So when I was at Fort Sill, I'm not at Fort Sill, at fucking Fort Stewart at 19, I would fucking go to the motor pool, and not find shit to do, but put them to work. You know what I mean? Because honestly, when I saw that video, them doing that little glass house with the engineer tape around the motherfucker in front of the
I
battle,
loved it. I loved it.
motherfuckers were talking shit. And you know what? They were doing what they're supposed to be doing, training. All right. Are they going to ever use it? Who knows? But they need to know how to do it. Go ahead.
Crawl, walk, run.
Thank you. But
that's what motherfuckers don't understand. Crawl, the glass house. Walk is the actual practice in the shoot house before you get your ammunition. Run, you in the shoot house, get your ammunition. That is the phase. We are not 18 Bravos. We're not 18 series. We're not Dev Groove. I mean CAG. So we have to crawl, walk, run. Stop acting like y'all are MIL Team 6 and understand that there is always a crawl, walk, run phase.
No, and
let them do their thing.
Like I said on the last podcast, man, for all we know, it could have been just maybe a staff sergeant showing a young specialist or young corporal or young sergeant how to lead a class. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what's going on in that background. But here's the thing. I like to train. All right. I like to train. So one thing I would do is I would go to my motor pool. I'd go get my gun and I would move my gun and I'd be like, all right, hey, we're going to go ahead and practice occupying degraded operations. We're going to do degraded ops. Because one thing I wanted them to be proficient at was degraded operations on the Paladin. One thing I couldn't stand was when I was in Korea that our tube wasn't equilibrated. So you know what I mean? So it was hard as fuck to turn that motherfucking handle. So anyways, I fixed all that shit. And anyways, and I taught them how to do degraded. Okay, PDSCS is off. You know, you got to go set up that collimator. Because you know how motherfuckers go out to the field and set up the collimator, but they never shoot off of it? Okay, we're going to learn how to shoot off that collimator. You know what I'm saying? We're going to learn how to read this shit. We're going to learn how to we're going to learn the basics. Just the basics. I don't expect you to be fucking gunners, gunner first go, whatever, first time go on the gunner's test. But I want you all to go to the gunner's test and take it. You know what I mean? So anyways, learn how to do direct fire. Why? Because it's your job. Are you going to learn it all in one day? Probably not. You all right?
That you said direct fire, that reminded me of some shit.
Oh,
tell me why before I got elevated to platoon sergeant, I was a gunnery sergeant. So I had to certify as Big 3. They still made me certify as being a section chief just in case. Just in case somebody couldn't hack the shit.
Word. I wonder who that is. It who I
so I literally had to certify. I had to certify as Big 3, and then while we're doing the direct fire, I still had to certify direct fire and as a fucking chief. Do 5 and 6.
Goddamn. You know,
And that's why I walked around. That's why I say, man, going to Fort Sill was the best thing that ever happened in my career. I learned so much. I learned. That's when I talk shit. But when I say I talk shit and can back it up, I was like,
yeah.
yo, y'all can't fuck with me.
Well,
Y'all
see,
cannot fuck with me.
I didn't learn about Big 3 certification until I got to motherfucking Fort Carson. I had no idea because we never fuck with the aiming circle out there in fucking in mechanized land. We never fuck with the circle. All we did was we pulled up to the SCP, nav update, occupy. That's it. You know what I'm saying? But when I got to motherfucking to Carson,
bro, it's funny that you talk about that shit, right? Because man, a right hand of God on the life of all my kids. So I had to fucking degraded ops. So this year's homeboy, De Leon, Sergeant De Leon, right? He's the one that shot the mission.
Okay.
I had to get shit ready degraded ops. So it was me and Lieutenant Cup. I can say names. Fuck them. They ain't
no, hold on. I'm trying
to
think of De Leon. Was he in Korea?
De Leon Cruz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was in Korea. He was in Korea.
Was he in Fort Stewart afterwards?
I don't think he went to Fort Stewart, but I know he was in Korea.
Okay, because I knew
I got you.
Okay, got you.
Mexican type kid from Florida.
Yes, little short cat.
We may be talking about the same motherfucker, yo.
Yep.
Bro, yeah.
Artillery, y'all. It's a small world.
Nah, I fuck with Dave Leon, man, because Dave Leon was cool.
Dave Leon
man.
was a cool little cat, man. He was a short little motherfucker, right?
Yeah, he's short, man. Like, I fuck with Dave Leon, man. Like, I fuck with him. So he's the one that shot the mission for me when I did this shit degraded. Keep in mind that I just got appointed to fucking be the platoon sergeant. Lieutenant Cup, there's no shade to him. So I went out there, me and him are out there trying to set the circle up. I take off all my gear.
What was his first
Boom.
name? You remember?
It started with an S. I got you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So fucking we go out there. I take all my fucking gear off. I'm making sure I ain't got no metal on me nowhere, right? Because I'm set up circle. Right? Lieutenant Cup, same thing. I knew Lieutenant Cup when he came to Bullock. That's how fresh off of Bullock I was. Like, you know what I'm saying? I knew him when he was in Bullock. So we're trying to set the circle up. It's not bumping. It is not fucking bumping. The captain, he was about to take over. He tries to set the circle up with me. It's not bumping. I said, hold up. On the life of my kids, I set my circle up. I said, all right. I said, hey, sir, go to my circle. He goes to my circle. I go to where his circle is at. Set his circle up. Them shit start bumping. The fucking captain who was out there, he was coming in, but he was still kind of responsible, but not fully responsible for things. You know what I'm saying? He was like, he looked at it and it bumped. He was like, okay, this shit bumping now. And I was like, nah, hey, sir, it's bumping. We're shooting the shit. Crew, De Leon set that shit up. They call down a mission. He shoots. End the mission. Soon as they said that in the mission, both the circles bump. I'm getting him fucking laid. We're laid. Yeah. De Leon is laid on the aiming circle, the safety circle. All of our fucking data is bumping between his gun, my aiming circle, the safety circle, which I should not, second circle, which I should not have to have set up. All three of those are bumping. All three of those are fucking bumping. And they get that end of mission. What does that mean?
Everything done is safe, baby.
That motherfucker landed safe as shit. Yep. Man, they said end of mission. I looked at both of them officers. That captain was like, I don't know what kind of voodoo magic you did, but you made it work. And that's when I say that First Sergeant Moriarty was like, I wanted you to be in charge of this fucking battery. Yeah. I was, and this is why I say I can humble myself and say I was a piece of shit corporal. I was a piece of sergeant. As a staff sergeant, needed more work. But when I came from Fort Sill, I was polished. I was motherfucking polished. That's when I will say that I was a non-commissioned officer.
About being a piece of shit. Did you tell him that I sent him that link already, by the way? I ain't got no fucking request back from him. So
yeah, there's some other stuff.
Oh, going on in the background? Oh, gravy.
Yeah, but I let him know.
All right, too easy. So here's the thing. One, I think that when soldiers come out in the field artillery world, all right, they should go to a light unit first.
Yes.
Need to go to a light
Yes.
unit and learn how to properly do field artillery, because field artillery, the moment that PDFCS goes down, if you don't know what the fuck, if you never heard of T-Labs, Pap, you ain't even, are you even artillery? Are you even artillery? You know what I'm saying?
We don't do it. Heavy does not set out aiming circles. Not aiming circles. Well, they don't set out aiming circles.
Or aiming
and they
poles.
don't set, yeah, that's what I meant to say. They don't set out aiming circles. They don't set out aiming poles. Where is the DAP? Can you honestly tell me a time that when you were in the field that you literally looked for a DAP?
Not in the mechanized world. Now, I did at Fort Stewart when I was doing my training, where I was going back. I was trained those, so like other sections would see me. They were at the motor pool just lollygagging and shit, hanging out, because that's where the chief told them to be at, right? But they would see that I would pull out my gun, I would give myself a manual move order, all right? And then I would have the drivers drive around the motor pool, come back and occupy. All right. And now I would have the section in there, and I had other Joes from other sections in there with me. And they would be like, "Hey, Sergeant Lopez, you know, can we come and learn from you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I ain't got no problem with you coming to learn with me. None whatsoever. I didn't think I was stepping on anybody's toes either. You know what I'm saying? Your chief should be there teaching you, but since he's not, I'm going to go ahead and do it if they want to. You know what I'm saying? You're going to learn the way I do it, though. You just don't say this is the way that Sergeant Lopez taught me. That's the only way that I know. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I would do. Give myself, and then after I did that, bro, I would put the most senior motherfucker up there. I'll be like, "All right, Gunner, you're gonna be the chief. Give yourself a manual move order. Got a driver. You got your number one man. You, whoever's gonna be your gunner, pick them, and go ahead and handle it. And drive around in a circle, occupy, and then go through the steps. Because the only way you're gonna learn how to do things is muscle memory by repetition, right? But not only that, one thing that I learned in my times of being a chief was the best way to teach someone was to have them show someone else. In other words, like my gunner, once I felt that he was proficient enough, I'd be like, "Hey, man, do me a favor. Get all the number one men in here. Go ahead and teach them how to do the gunners, how to do the gunner's position when we occupy, what it is that you're doing." You know what I mean? So then he would get all the number one men, and then the number one men would go through it, and they would teach each other, because that's the best way to learn. And I would just be there supervising to make sure he's teaching them the right shit. You know what I mean? And same thing, like the best way. So I would tell, sometimes I would say, tell my gunner, "Hey, Gunner, I'm Private Lopez. Talk to me. What do I got to do to be a number one man? How do I be a number one man? What are the," and that way they talk me through the steps. You know what I mean? And I know that they understand the standard. Now, do we cut corners? Of course. Everybody cuts corners. Like that one video we saw earlier that you had sent me, or that I had sent you. I don't know which one it was, but it was a slow ass paladin. And all I know is that this motherfucker went and put the round in there, punched, put the round of the tube with his with the swab, and then the motherfucking chief was still toying with the goddamn buttons to lay the gun. And in my mind, I'm like, why aren't you just joysticking that shit? It's a lot faster, just joystick, and then fine tune with the fucking oh shit. So I think our artillery talk is ending now, because now we're gonna be talking to our artillery world talk is over.
I want to say this with all bluster. Fuck the infantry.
Oh, I got to get caught up, man. My bad. I had some shit going on over here.
No problem, brother. No problem. Hey,
bad,
Gunline. We got a new fire mission coming down. Emergency mission just came through. We got an infantry calling in with a tick.
0311.
Ooh,
0311.
Troops in contact.
And they, by the way, he's an old jarhead of all things. So welcome, Mr. Petty Grunts here to the motherfucking Gunline. Thank you for being here, my brother. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks for inviting me, man. It's raining out here, but it's all good.
Oh, no, man, no doubt. Me and Hunt been holding it down for the past, about an hour and a half, just shooting the shit, chopping it up. No, you good, baby. You good.
Grunt,
I understand life happens.
Hey, Grunt, you like the new edition? Grunt?
The fuck?
Yo, I'm telling your boy, he's over there appropriating culture and shit.
I'm appropriating basic white bitch culture.
Motherfucker got put little fucking blonde dreads and shit. He's got the fucking pins going in his face.
Like, he's gonna get those blonde tips. Get those blonde tips.
Mm-hmm. That motherfucker going all extra. Anyway, thank you for being
How you
here.
doing, Petty?
I'm good. What's up?
So check this out, man. Just to give you a quick rundown. We were just having some field artillery conversations because pretty much we were running out of shit to talk about. But one of the things I did want
NCOs, really?
Oh yeah, non-commissioned officers and their responsibilities and how they showing off on TikTok like a bunch of dumb motherfuckers. But one thing that I did want to talk about that I heard you and Hunt discussing. Okay, so you know him as Virgo 82 on the TikToks.
Yeah, I mean, I know him. I know a little bit of him outside.
Okay, so everybody, I just know him as Hunt. That's it. Well, Sergeant Hunt back in the day, but yeah, I just know him as Hunt.
Corporal.
Corporal Hunt. Well, back then it was Specialist Promotable Hunt. And he would always make fun of me because he had his little fucking air assault wing. He'd be like, oh, flatliner. Anyways, yeah, that's how he showed off like that. So, but thank you for being here, man. And I'm glad to have you here because I'd like to have different military cats. And I'm running out of time on this one, which means that in 10 minutes I got to send you out a new link, if that's cool with you. But anyway, damn, this is gonna be like a Joe Rogan episode, fucking 2 hours, 3 hours long. But check it out, man. Just for those that don't know you, if you don't mind just introducing yourself a bit and giving us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I guess on TikTok and stuff like Petty Grunts. Outside of that, name's Josh. Served 8 years United States Marine Corps Infantry 0351 Assaultman. So, basic infantry rifleman with a cross train of anti-armor and demolition. It's pretty much like a mix of like combat engineer and rifleman, pretty much that. So I did that. I've, seen there, been there. Afghanistan. I don't say miss out, but yeah, didn't do Iraq. Did Afghanistan. All right, thanks. Shit. Got out.
So
I did
Petty.
05 in 2013.
Right on.
So Petty, when you say so, you said that there are things that encompass what you did from 03. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. But 0311. That's just like the fucking, that's the grunts.
That's your 11.
You
Bravo.
did something extra above. Yeah. So and that's the thing though. You did above and beyond that. So you were still a grunt.
I wouldn't say above and beyond. It's more per se. You have your machine gunners, right? It's just a weapon. It's a weapon specialty. So your machine gunner knows exactly the full rundown of what a basic 11 Bravo would do. They know what 11 Bravo would do in the gist of it, because you guys have weapon platoons, right? You guys have weapons, like your whole platoon will be specialties.
So I think that
he
would be more like a fucking 11 Charlie. Like the 11 Charlies are the fucking mortar men, but they're still grunts, but they're mortar men. You see what I'm saying?
So
I would
yes, kind of. Like we would have it where I'll be in normal weapons company. So you have 3 line platoons, 3 basic 03 platoons. Then you have weapons platoon, and based off of deployment, either they'll split up all the mortarmen, assault men, and machine gunners and divvy them out amongst the line platoons. Or we'll just run our own. When we run our own game, that was the best. When we just ran and we became our own line platoon.
Motherfucker, for all on Call of Duty and shit.
Bro, it will be, because sometimes we don't even utilize. Like, bro, my main weapon was like the small, the shoulder launch multi-purpose weapon. So they did not let us shoot that shit in country. They got rid of that because we weren't. They're like, no, we're not taking it. We're not blowing up mud huts anymore. Using inert rounds.
No, because you motherfucking Marines are like, oh, what? Man, fuck that shit. Let's go ahead and shoot this shit.
$12,000 a round, $12,000 a pop. I'm like, you better hit. When someone misses, think about javelins too. Those javelins are $78,000 per.
Ooh, fuck.
But hey, those are easier. Those are shoot and forget. Because that shit, once it's locked, is. Yeah, I mean, like it's always hard for me to explain my job because I don't know what the equivalent of it would be from the Army. Like I said, it literally will be where like most times I was just running freaking 11 Bravo shit, right? But I knew, hey, if we're doing breaching, I'm the one who knows how to do the breaching charge, do the deck cords, and knows the timing, breach the store, set the breaching charge down. Well, get back into the stack because I'm about to be in there. Hit the door, boom, let's go. I'd probably.
You know what's crazy, Petty?
What?
You know what's crazy? So they're different classes. So even with infantry guys, I wasn't infantry, but I've been around infantry guys, and we talked. But they will go to specialized courses. Their main thing would be the 11 Bravo, but they would go to specialized courses. So even though they're 11 Bravos, they're in their companies. They would be like, okay, Joe Snuffy, he went to this course. He's this right here. He is certified to be this right here. We sent the time to take him to that. But it's kind of different when I say that in your aspect, because you said you had to do the engineering aspect, which is something totally different than the 11 Bravo. So that's why I said it's like you're 11 Bravo plus. That's how I would.
It's like you would have a different identifier if you think about it. Kind of like
yeah.
You had like fucking, for example, like when I went to Slick, sling load inspector certification. He's just got an additional identifier, an additional fucking skill set. We got you, pimp.
Hey, I don't want to say anything sexy. I just be like, yo, it was infantry, and like the thing is, when in Afghanistan, I was not an assaultman in Afghanistan. I was either a vehicle commander when I got bumped up again as an non-commissioned officer, and before that, I was just a up gunner on a 240 Bravo. So I'm like, shit, I know the 240 more than I know the freaking small.
Let me ask you something. We were talking about non-commissioned officers and shit, and how we have seen the position change within the ranks. So for example, I'm gonna speak only within the Army, and in my realm of the field artillery. One of the things that I noticed before I got out was that the non-commissioned officer corps was becoming more a group of me rather than we. One thing that I noticed was that they were trying to be more friends rather than leaders. I saw that motherfuckers were being promoted much too fast without having the competency needed for that position. So but one of the biggest problems that I saw with all that was the whole division of rather being together as a we, it was more of a me. Because even if one NCO was lacking, another, or was slacking, whatever, another NCO could pull them up, be like, hey man, you fucking up right here, let's go get you up to par. And I saw that changing, and I witnessed it, because motherfuckers be like, I'll put myself as an example. I went up to another NCO like, hey man, I see you got this thing you got going on with your dash 10, which is our fucking field manual, right? And I'm like, hey, hey, hook me up, man. How'd you get that done? He's like, look, man, I'm gonna let you see it one time, but from there you got to do it on your own. Normally I don't share this shit with nobody. And I'm like, all right, you know what? Cool. Don't even give it to me, bro. You don't even have to give it to me. You know what I'm saying? You deny me one time, I'm done with you, dog. You know what I'm saying? I know where I stand. But instead of helping to lift the motherfucker, he just rather keep a motherfucker down. Does that make sense? I think that's what's lacking, and that's what's caused the downfall of the NCO Corps, because we used to be known as the backbone of the Army.
Yes. Same thing for the Marines. Okay. They always say that between the E4 and the E3, really it's the Lance Corporal, because there's so many of them. They're, I'm not trying to sound bad, but they call them crunchies. We call them crunchies when it comes to the infantry, because I'm like, hey, they make noises when you run over them with tanks. But they're just because of mass numbers. But for leadership aspect, obviously it's the E4s and the E5s, because you are reporting to the hold on, baby. You're reporting to the officers at the same time. You are the voice for the junior enlisted, for the higher up, for the staff NCOs, for the higher up. I saw, definitely Semper. We call it Semper I. No Semper 5. It was like, oh, you want to be a Semper I Marine, okay? And we first to be calling out, and I saw it. People get promoted too quick. On my first time being a corporal, I was promoted too quick. Because at the same time, all the people which in my team and all my section, we literally signed in and reported in on the same day. Like all of us are like, so it was hard to balance that, because I'm like, I'm with these people on a regular basis. I know the intricate details of their families, how they work. So it was kind of hard at the first time to separate that. But because I always told Mike this, and he knows this, like I always said, I was a shitty garrison Marine, horrible garrison. I don't customs and courtesies, yo, F you, I don't care. I don't care. But put me in the field or downrange, then I'm like, this is where my rotation is. Because I always felt like the way you orchestrate Marines and people in which you're going to be leading to, you got to, she's sleeping. You have to rely on her. You're going to have to rely on them during the times where rounds are downrange. So I don't want spitefulness, because like people, believe it or not, like people don't think like they can throw away like personal troubles during like combat. Like no, people fucking are spiteful. I don't throw anything past any human.
Yep.
So I always tried to when I got promoted again, I tried to find the balance between, I will not disrespect you, I will not put you in a way where I'm going to degrade you. And the Marines, of anything, when I'm not degrading them, I would get fucking my sergeants to come down, my staff sergeants to come down. You need to be harder on these Marines. You need to be harder. Then I think when those staff sergeants were my corporals and my sergeants, I'm like, nah, that didn't work out. You got free. I'm like, you used to get in the bar fights. You're the one that used to get the brick. Come in here as a staff sergeant with a freaking black eye because someone threw a brick at your face.
Gunline. Fire mission coming down, y'all. It's your host Lopez, and you're listening to the On the Gunline podcast, where you shoot the shit like we would out in the field. So go on and pop a squawk, because it's about to get hot right now. You on the Gunline now. So full disclosure, I had done a whole other podcast earlier with motherfucking Hunt, but we got a visitor here who you see, it's not Hunt, no, they don't all look alike. This happens to be a Hunt that one of Hunt's homies. He's a better version of Hunt because he was a fucking jarhead apparently. But now with us here we have Petty Grunt, as he goes by on the TikToks. We've been messaging back and forth on here. And mostly I like watching their lives because they talk about military stuff as well as, challenges that they face in the military. And I like this platform because, unlike TikTok, I don't censor over here. We don't have to say pew pews and white tees and shit like that. Now we talk how we fucking talk. So with that being said, I'd like to give you the floor, Petty. Thank you for being on here. And what's your story, brother?
I appreciate it, man. Well, like I said, go by Petty Grunts on TikTok. My name is Josh Williams. I served, like I said, about 8+ years United States Marine Corps. I've been on the active side. I've done a little bit of active, and I've done reserve. I was an 0351 in the United States Marine Corps, Saltman. So I think we broke it down earlier. It's pretty much a variation of, in the Army, it's 11 Bravo mixed with a combat engineer, but you are part of the intricate infantry itself. So you still go to School of Infantry for your training, and then after you've learned the basics, 11 Bravos, fire maneuvers, and then you go to your specialty at the end of SOI. Then you become high speed, apparently, right? So,
right. You become a non-pogue. You're not a pogue. So that's what sets y'all apart, right? I mean, goddamn, I don't know how many times I've been called a fucking pogue throughout my life, but I'm proud to be a pogue. I'm a proud pogue because guess what? Every time that y'all motherfuckers got into ticks, this pogue is the one slinging those rounds to save y'all asses. Remember that the king always saves the queen from getting raped.
Exactly. No, that's exactly how it is. I always tell people, I was like, bro, everyone did it. It's one cohesive machine, and everyone does their little part to leave. That's just shooting the shit. It's when civilians be saying that shit. It's like, yo, you don't even rate enough to say that. But they're pogue, but you below the pogue.
Right? It's like, I don't get it. These motherfucking cheerleaders out there be trying to act like they look. I get it. On Call of Duty, y'all motherfuckers be getting all them kills, but in real life, it ain't like that. You know what I'm saying?
I still play Call of Duty. Motherfuckers be saying that, I'll be like, I'm like, this gun don't shoot like this.
For real, right? Man, oh man. So tell me, man, how did you end up going into the Corps? Was there like a military tradition in your family, or what ended up getting you into the Corps?
There was only one person that served prior to me. That was my uncle. My family, hey, listen, I'll be honest. Black community, a lot of times, they're literally hesitant when it comes to military. They're like, why? Why are you going to fight for their war? That's all you hear, right? Then you got to think, I joined in 05, so I saw 9/11 when I was 16.
Okay.
So that was the divvy up point of us being like, okay, I maybe have a calling. I was doing decent in school, but everyone had like their college and everything lined up, set out, right? Set forth. Like their life and their plan was I was like, I didn't have a path. So I was like, I'm going to make a path. And guess what? I thought about those old Marine commercials where they had with the dress blues fighting the lava monsters with the NCO sword. And I was like,
motherfucking dragons and shit.
I was like, you playing Dungeons and Dragons with this? I'm like, yeah. So I went first. I had a recruiter to the Army. So I went out of my way to find a recruiter.
Right.
So I found a recruiter, come to the schools, blah, blah, blah. And it was Army, all set up to go to MEPS and do that. And then I had a Marine recruiter catch me the day before I was going to MEPS for the initial setup, not leaving, right?
Right.
Convinced me all the way around. Somehow he convinced me about, like, do you want to go to the military and not have second and no regrets that you could have did another branch that was a little harder? He said, that's how they said it, right?
Right.
It's like, you'll have no regret. You'll have no regrets. You come in here, you do this. He's like, if you're going to do infantry, do the best infantry. So he sold me. Yep. So I went to MEPS in 05 Paris Island during Hurricane Katrina. So that was a lockdown for a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah. And then after that, the fleet. And then after that, reserves. And then deployments, mainly. Just like I said, I've done like different things. Like I said, like I've only had like one combat deployment out of those 8 years. So any other times we've done, we spent a few months in Australia doing Operation Talbot Sabre, doing cross training with Australians. In 2008, we were up there training Georgians.
Oh, okay.
Didn't know that. That was then 24 hours after we left, Russia invaded Georgia in 08.
That's right, bro. That's right.
So we didn't know. We didn't know why we were there because we're training them in conventional warfare. And we're like,
right.
We're fighting insurgencies. I'm running down, make some models of Russian tanks with them and like teaching them how to rock smalls and javelins. So it's weird. Within 24 hours of us leaving, literally rolling down.
God damn.
Remember, that was an 8-day war. So they obviously war crimes. But
wasn't really a war though. That was more of just a fucking run over and we got you, bitch. That's all it was.
So, like, that's the thing, man. Like I had so much of volunteering to go to different countries to train. Once I felt like I was tuned up by the time the combat deployment came. So I was like, we're going to Israel. I'm dealing shit in Israel. I'm like trained. I live in the country now, so it's trains.
Bro, you're living the dream that I wish I could.
Oh no! It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. It's slowly moving away. But like I said, like I spent so much time training across the world. Like by the time we got the combat deployment, I was tuned up.
So let me ask you, what year did you deploy?
2009.
Where'd you go to?
Afghanistan, Helmand Providence. So we were rotating out of Leather. Oh, what
is that? RC South?
Well, it would be south because I'm trying. If it was AO Bella Woods, so we were literally rotating out of Leatherneck all the way to the top of Sangan, so and Marja. So that was our. Hold on one second.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah, take the computer, buddy. So we were like the conjunction to stop anybody from rotating from that part of Helmand Province where Leatherneck is to the top of Sangan. Because about 2009, 2010, because it was a float over year, because go from 08 to 9, right? So 09 to 10, we would stop anybody from trying to hit Sangan. That's when we started doing the push in support of like 19 pushing into Marja.
Gotcha. Okay, because I didn't go to Afghanistan until 2012, and my experience in Afghanistan differed because I was training the Afghans on artillery. That's like training monkeys algebra. It's pointless. But let's talk about let's talk a little bit about your experience in the Marine Corps. So when you first got to boot camp, like you were born west of the Mississippi, so you went to Paris Island, right? East of the Mississippi, then, right? So you went to Paris Island.
Yes.
So what was your expectations versus the reality? Did you have any expectations?
To get yelled at for 13 weeks. 13 weeks of nothing but gluten as hell. And then when you get there, it's literally, really, if you just listen, it's a very simple, basic thing. Literally, it's almost like just 4 weeks of yelling and just fucking with you for no reason.
Right.
But then after that, you're starting to learn knowledge. And I was talking to Virgo the other day, where I'm like, you were so happy when your drill instructors would stop yelling and they would break down knowledge with you.
Yes.
Here, let me teach you, because they would roam, even though most of them were never infantry, they would romanticize. You got to be a killer, this efficient, and like, and you're a young impressionable kid. You're freaking. Tell me about this.
Yeah.
Tell me about these bodies I want to drop.
Yeah.
And they would break it down to you, and then they would teach you, hey, even breaking down your M16 to the bolt. Just, this was the most romantic thing you could do, because I'm like, yo, we're not fucking jumping up and down, doing it in the sand, smoking us. We're learning. I'm learning what I think I can carry over. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think it clicked in 4 weeks in, because I said, this is a bit basic thing. Someone tells you to do it, you do it. When you're given a billet, then you run it. Because I got one of those, like, I guess, suck ups, and I got those meritorious promotion out of boot camp. So I got out of boot camp as E2.
Okay.
So, and like, they, what is it? Section leader, whatever, line leader, squad leader, no, section in there. So I'm just like, okay, I'm learning drills. And then I don't think I really got a real taste of what the Marines was until I got to School of Infantry.
Okay.
Because like, so you got libo. I mean, you're off on the weekends unless you're doing a field operation. Like, you're not, it's a 9 to 5 at that point. You're not fucked with at a certain extent unless you mess up. Then you have your instructors getting on you. But like, people are treated like men. Boot camp is where you break them down.
Yeah.
and mold them a little bit. But School of Infantry in your school, I'm like, this is what you're gonna be doing for the next 4 to 8, whatever, how many years. This is where your job is. And I think I started getting the camaraderie and the brotherhood more in School of Infantry than I did at boot camp. Boot camp was just like, survive 13 weeks.
Okay.
My black guys didn't know how to swim. And I freaking got there, and I was like, I'm not rotating out. I said, I ain't freaking starting over again. I was like, I'm gonna learn today.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I've never been a great swimmer. I heard y'all talking about that shit on the TikTok that one day when that motherfucker said that black people couldn't swim. I was dying. That shit had me laughing, y'all.
Well, the thing is, the way he was coming at
it was the delivery.
Like, the fact that you can't. It's the opportunity.
Exactly. See, the way that homeboy was delivering his message was coming out very retarded. So there's no other way I could put it. It just came out retarded. But yeah, and it's exactly that. It's the lack of opportunity, because some motherfuckers live in landlocked areas and they don't have swimming pools, they don't have ponds, they don't, like, some motherfucker put on there like, you guys don't have access to a river or a lake. No, motherfucker, we don't. I live next to the beach.
New York. Well, Hudson River. I'm like, go to Hudson. I'm like, Hudson River, all the bodies, the mafia.
I grew up, I was born and raised in Los Angeles. The beach ain't nothing but a 15-minute drive.
But at LA River?
Nah, the beach. We have the beach, like Santa Monica and all that shit. The thing is, though, to get there. All right, because it's not like my parents are gonna fucking be like, oh yeah, let's go to the beach right now. Nah, man. I mean, my parents work, and you think I'm gonna catch the RTD to go to the beach? Hell nah. Anyway, but I feel you on that. And plus, I was scared of water because I didn't want to drown. But that's another story for another
day. People yelling at you.
Yeah.
If that's your first introduction into like free swimming, and someone's yelling at you, and you got the mind fuck of like, yo, I'm gonna be stuck here.
Yeah, dude. Well, no, and so, I mean, to me, like, my biggest memory from boot camp or basic training was the goddamn gas chamber. I will never forget that shit, because Drill Sergeant Schlotthauer said, not Schlotthauer, Showmaker said, are you going to die? No, but you're going to wish you were dead, because goddamn it, every breath you take, it's like you're dying. God, I hated that shit. What about you, man? Like, aside from the swimming, what were some of the impacts that stayed with you?
I felt, like I said, before boot camp, like I said, everyone had a path. Everyone felt like they had like they already knew their life was planned out. They're going to go to college and then they're going to be successful here. And like me, I was kind of winging it. But when I got to boot camp, I felt like I felt like I got that path. I felt like I was on par. Like, I'm going to get out. I'm going to wear these alphas. I'm going to wear these dress blues. I'm going to rock this shit. I'm going to go, any woman's mind at that mindset at that time, like, don't worry, they gonna love the freaking dress blue. I'm just gonna walk in like freaking Major Payne,
right? Yo, y'all do have the best looking motherfucking uniform. I ain't gonna lie, man. Now, y'all do have the best looking uniform. Dude, one thing I trip out on you guys is you guys have a lot of pride in what y'all do. You know, we were talking about Mill Talk earlier, Hunt and I, about how we see a lot of motherfuckers that are out there bitching and complaining and then doing it in uniform are all the majority Army. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I've seen any jarheads on there in uniform disgrace their uniform or the Marine Corps in that way. You know what I mean? I haven't seen it personally, but then again, I'm not
I'm
at
thinking.
that much.
I think it's because there's more of you guys. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is like, at the same time, like there's just more of you guys, and that's what it is. Like I didn't really know like the size difference until like literally being like, hey, once you get out of the schools and now you're in the real life and now you're working with other people from other branches of service, like you start realizing the size. I'm like, you guys are huge.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, because
and
the
like,
Corps is only 250,000, right?
Just about the ballpark. That's the thing. That's why it throws me off, because it was almost like, hold on, hey, yeah. So yeah, my dog was about to bark at a plastic bag. So yeah, so like when I started like seeing how the Army works, I was like, because there's so many. So like anytime we would hear some like, I'm not gonna lie. Anytime I hear some bullshit going on, we were like, what branch?
Mm-hmm.
It was like some Army stuff like that. Because I was like, this is so many of y'all. Because like I said, when I was in infantry, women weren't implemented in infantry at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, and then we heard that you guys would be the first ones to implement it. And like, so that throws me off. Like when Hunt's talking about he's worked with women and stuff like this, I'm like, it threw me off. Because I'm like,
damn, we losing you. And I think
attachments with us and stuff like, oh, I think we're more stubborn.
and we lost you for a minute when we got you back now.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the last thing you heard?
You heard Hunt had worked with females, and then you were.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We got you back now.
Yeah, so like you guys are. I always looked at you guys being more progressive, changing the old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have my opinions on
because
females.
The Army. It always seems like Army's.
Yeah, I have my opinions on females being in combat MOSs personally. And I've gotten into a lot of shit for them because I don't believe they should be in there. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm saying they shouldn't be there. But that's just my opinion. And one thing I was talking about with Hunt as well. One thing I told Hunt as well is like, you know, it's not that they can't do it, because there's females out there that can't do it, obviously. It's just that it just brings in more problems than we're needing, you know. And yeah, I guess it's not the woke fucking thing to think about, but it's the thing. It's I would have not changed my leadership style for a female. In other words, I might not have agreed with it, but it's not my job to agree or disagree. My job is to enforce. You know what I'm saying? So if that would have been the standard, I would have been enforcing the standard of treating them like, hey, these females are going to be on here. They're our sisters, and they're going to be doing everything the same way you do it. I'm not giving no motherfucking preferential treatment. Bitch, you pack that rucksack, you carry that rucksack. I ain't helping you out. You wanted to be a motherfucking artilleryman? Welcome to the field artillery. Get your ass on advanced party. You know what I mean? But the things that I foresaw was, and I'm not trying to be Nostradamus up in this bitch, but I just didn't want to see a bunch of fucking EO complaints, a bunch of, oh, I'm being picked on because I'm a female. And I didn't want a lot of sexual harassment shit coming up, because we have a certain language that we talk when we're out in the field, and people can get very offended. And what pisses me off is when I hear civilians saying, oh, but we're a professional military, we shouldn't be talking like that anyway. Motherfucker, I'm going to be going to another country and possibly dying. Do you think I give two fucks about how a person speaks? No, I don't. You know, I don't have time to think about that shit or offending somebody, you know? So those were my issues with it, but those were, again, mine. You know what I mean?
No, you know what? I understand it, because the thing is, like, obviously, anytime someone usually says it in that way, most people's first reaction is like, well, how dare you? No, but actually hearing the reason why is because you would actually have to uphold the equal standards, and which goes wrong. The standard SOP, the SOPs go for everybody. Equal opportunity, opportunity. Just like getting smoke checked, equal opportunity. Well, you got to take it easy. This person can't do up downs with a 50 cal barrel because they are this.
Yeah, fuck all that. Fuck that. But not only that, to me, it pissed me off because as in the infantry world, you got to be able to fucking shoot, move, and communicate instantly. Whenever it's time to roll out, we got to roll out.
Yeah.
So for us in artillery, we hear march order. Once we hear march order, that means we got to pack up everything and get the fuck out. Now, I don't know if this is the way they did it with the females on there or not, but I could just foresee because, a lot of us, when we would change up in front of everybody, be butt naked, running up and down the motherfucking gun line, getting dressed.
Yep.
But with females out there, are they going to be okay with that? Or are they going to have our own special tent? Or are they going to still dig cat holes to go take a piss and take a shit like we would out in the fucking wood line? Or are they going to have their own little fucking porter johns for themselves with little showers accessible? You know what I mean? So to me, I saw too many fucking changes that were unnecessary in the name of equality and diversity and all that bullshit. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the way I saw it. You know what I mean? But then again, that's why I'm not in anymore, because now I'd be considered a toxic fucking leader. So tell me about once you got to your first unit, how was your reception there versus, again, expectations versus like what did you think was going to happen when you got there?
I was nervous about reporting in because obviously you practice it up and down, or Marine, like permission to freaking come aboard, whatever. And I was nervous about it. I thought I was going to get thrashed day one because you always hear the fucking horror stories about the fleet or just reporting into units in general. But unfortunately, that wasn't really the case with the first one. The reserve unit is where that came, because so I was reporting into reserve unit, E3. So like I said, was able to finagle some shit. They just got back from Iraq.
Okay.
And they were hit hard, like hard. And like there's even a book about it. I mean, not a book, there's even combat diaries specifically about that unit.
Yeah. And
so their reception to anybody was kind of just like, you're nothing. You're below me right now. So it took a lot of like, not just earning the trust of people, just showing that you are worth even being in the presence of people. That's kind of fortunately how they were ran. Their mindset were running because they lost 20 something people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And in the course of like a week. So, and unfortunately I had the same name as one of the deceased. So like,
yeah, that makes it a lot even more difficult.
Yeah, it was, but the thing is, it was like a hazing beyond hazing, which I'm like, I am all for initiating people, but it was to the point where like, yo, you want me to act up in front of freaking Dick Cheney? I literally, okay, so hold on, I'm gonna tell you a little story. So the first formation I had as a unit, I remember my team leader whispered in my ear, he's like, "Take it out of the middle of the formation." I was like, "What?" He's like, take it out, you piece of shit." I was like, Dick Cheney is literally fucking giving out fucking medals here.
Oh shit!
I don't know. I'm.
Hold on. So let's rewind it because there was a little bit of audio issue. So you said Dick Cheney was there, and your team leader said what to you?
Take it out in the formation, like that. The thing is, I realized the psychic of it once I deployed because they were just fucked up in the head. Right. A lot of them were on their way out too. A lot of them were like freaking like 2 months away from getting out too, and some were just getting out because like just because of what's going on with them. Yeah. So like you get to a point, and like I said, that's the reserve side. They didn't give a fuck. Right. But it was, But the thing is, like I said, it was a different mindset. Like it was like no one cared. They didn't care. And it was weird. That's why I said, like, you go from active for people like do this 9 to 5 every day. They live, breathe, core. Tell me everything. Chesty Puller would cry and roll in his grave. But then to people who they love the core as much, right? They don't do it all the time, but now they got hit with something that don't happen in reserve units a lot to that extent. Right. And so it caused like a I don't know. It's hard to explain because I never really talked about it this in depth with it, but it caused a thing where I was like, shit, I might as well be active because the mindset of how they are. Yeah. Even though we didn't see each other that often, like when it's business, formation, business, smoke check. Well, you're going to smoke check me only 2 weekends a month. I'll see you. Yeah. But,
So
it's a different game.
yeah, definitely. I mean, and you know what? You hit on something right there, though. Being accepted into the Marine Corps, I guess, into any military branch is one thing, but once you start getting down to the lower levels, like to the section level, to the squad level, to become accepted within them as your peers, especially if they're just rotating back and they've gone through some hardships, that's going to be difficult as fuck, because now you got to, first of all, you're a boot, and who are you? You got to earn their trust. You got to earn their respect. So I could just imagine like the difficulties of doing that shit. So you're going to be fucked with regardless. You're going to get fucked with, first
Even
of all,
no
because
matter
you're
what
a boot.
rank. No matter what rank, because you're a non-combat deployment freaking, now you're NCO the first time.
Yeah, I mean,
deployment.
what is it?
And my team leaders are matching with me. Because remember, we're talking about PFCs. When I'm checking in, I'm a higher rank than them who just got back. So let me tell you what to do. Let me tell you what to do. What fuck?
we all right, just real quick for the people that are listening. We got Hunt coming in right now. Hunt's coming in, and he just came back from getting some grub real quick. So
and Dos Equis.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that he has a Dos Equis with him. Either that or Uncle Nearest, one of the two. But welcome back, Hunt. Welcome back. So with that, Hunt, just to fill you in, we're talking about him integrating into his unit, in the reserve unit, once their team was coming back, or the unit was coming back, rotating from Iraq. They suffered heavy casualties. So, they kind of side-eyed him when he first got there, because like, who the fuck are you? You have no bond with us whatsoever right now. And this motherfucker, why you, bro? You sucking that shit up like some cum, dog. What the fuck?
I didn't even see it. Hold on.
Oh my god.
He's like,
oh my god.
This motherfucker looked like it was some bukkake going up in his mouth. What the
He's
fuck?
like, just let it run down my throat.
So, but yeah, so we were breaking down. He was talking about us. He was talking to us about that shit. So I appreciate that so far. And just so you know, we're gonna be sending out another link here in a second. One about another 8 minutes. To keep running on with it. But with that said, so you got to your unit. Those motherfuckers were psycho. I think anybody that's been through any type of fucking war comes back with a different view or mentality. And that's one of the mentalities that I miss. Again, this podcast is especially specific for that, because we, as you can tell, like, you could talk to us about this shit, whipping dicks out and everything, and it's not foreign to us. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, it sounds like
Dick Cheney
fucking day. Yeah. No, but it's just like another fucking day. Like, oh shit, tell me more. I want to hear more about this story. Versus out in civilian, we'll be like, I'm gonna have to report you with human resources. You know what I'm saying? So fuck that. I want to know more about this shit. But please let. So did you make the transition from reserve to active duty?
Yes. No. Yes. Active duty to reserve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's why they're looking at me as an E3, E4. Like, who the fuck are you? Gotcha. That's the problem. Because the thing is, like, because you got not billet yet, but you got NCO, because we don't have specialist corporals. Like, you're a corporal. You know what I'm saying? Once you hit E4. So now they're looking at this as the fact of, like, you cannot tell us shit. Because I'm like, if I have literally PFCs under me, which I'm like, hey, we're doing, even if it's small shit, like a small detail, like, hey, we're doing like smoke bud clean details or whatever, pick up some shit. Who said that? Oh, Mr. Never went to Iraq, go fuck you. Like that kind of mindset.
And I could get that. I could get behind that, but to an extent, because at the end of the day, you may not respect the motherfucker, but you will respect the motherfucking rank. All right. And as we were talking about earlier, you know what? I'll even throw a person out there. Smoke Shivari. Smoke Shivari was our platoon sergeant. We call our platoon sergeant Smokes. All right. So Smoke Shivari happened to be our platoon sergeant, who just happened to be a drill sergeant. I.e., what you guys call a drill instructor. I.e., if you think about motherfucking Arlie Ermy from Full Metal Jacket, he's the equivalent. All right, this was the equivalent to him.
We had him at a Marine Corps ball, by the way.
Word?
Yeah.
bro.
He loved his core, bro.
Oh, I'm sure he did, but I'll tell you what, Chavari, he loved hating fucking privates. So and he turned out overall to be a cool person. But here was the issue. I was a young PFC, young private. Actually, no, I was a young specialist by then when he took over. And we're getting ready to start training to build up to go back to Iraq. I had got orders to go to Korea. I didn't give two fucks, but he was trying to tell us how Iraq was going to be. That's kind of hard to tell a fucking unit that just rotated back when, we know what Iraq is going to be. And he was what we call light on the right. In other words, he didn't have a combat patch. Kind of like somebody that doesn't have a car in your motherfucking and telling you how it's going to be in a firefight when you got a car.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to listen to that and take it seriously. But I still will, because you are of a higher grade and position, do what I'm fucking told. At that point, if not, then we could take a walk across the motherfucking wood line onto the connexes and handle that shit like men. That's the way it should be done. And this is coming across right now because I'm gonna take it towards another topic real quick. Hunt and I, because Hunt, I'm not gonna put out the podcast that we did earlier. I'm gonna drop this one instead. But I'll save that one as a bonus episode for probably midweek or something. But anyways, Hunt and I were talking about this one certain female who was complaining and bitching about how she's an NCO and other NCOs or other
aren't listening to her.
Yeah, something along those lines. I can't remember. Hunt could break down a little bit more. But here's the thing that I don't like. If you're gonna bitch about it, pull the motherfucker aside and go fight that shit out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all you got to do, but no, we're a professional army. We are in the profession of killing. That is our fucking job, is to kill at the end of the day. When motherfuckers realize that we are not, there you go. Yeah, slide that meat up and down your mouth, baby. When motherfuckers,
hold on, I'm missing out on all the good shit with him. Hold on.
Wait, you ain't got all three of us up?
Now I can see his up. Now I can see him. I can see a little.
Look at
little
let them take that meat. Oh yeah. Slob on that knob, baby. Bitch, do your job. But no, I'm all about fucking, wall-to-wall counseling, or, if you have to get to the point, take the rank off, go fight each other. If he whoops your ass, he whoops your ass. You whoop his ass, you whoop his ass, and call it a day. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not about that no more. I understand this how we grew up.
Okay. And that's what's wrong. Look at the way that the fucking military is now. And look at how it was back then. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But things evolve. People evolve. Like I said, I got wall-to-wall counseling. That didn't mean that just because I got it that I was going to do this to another soldier.
You going to tell me some motherfuckers don't deserve it? Do some motherfuckers deserve it or not, though?
Oh, they do. But here's the deal. You deserve wall-to-wall counseling. But now I'm at the point to where I can be like, instead of putting my hands on you, I'm going to fuck with your money.
Okay. So
I will fuck with your money and your time. Because that's going to hurt you worse than any kind of physical altercation we're going to get.
Nah, but see, here's the thing.
Yeah, but I you know what? Okay, so I always agree with doing everything, but the only thing is I worry about. I don't fuck with people's money.
I'm gonna fuck with your money.
You the one to
then you will be catching fucking fists outside.
You will be the one to get hands on. Then you wonder why you got hands on counseling because you're asking fucking people's money.
But see,
listen. Do what you do. I'm gonna fuck with your money. I'm gonna fuck with your money and your time. I'm gonna put that shit on paper.
Fuck with my
you know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna give you an opportunity. I will give you an opportunity to calm yourself the fuck down. But if you don't, hey, listen, man. Now I gotta fuck with you.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you who got the biggest balls in this motherfucker. And the minute that you try to do this shit because I tried to give you an out and you still want to press the issue, now we gotta take this shit. We gotta take this other than be on the wood line. Cause your ass I'm gonna let you hit me. I'm gonna let you hit me, and I'm gonna fall the fuck out. Boom, you hit me. Oh my god. Cause guess where your ass is going? Now your ass finna go to Leavenworth. I'm gonna fuck with you even more.
That's some bitch made shit right there, man. I'm
gonna let you hit
turn
me.
in your motherfucking artillery car.
I'm gonna let you do that, and I'm gonna call the cops.
My heart just dropped.
I'm gonna let you do that shit.
For real?
You see, he's not just appropriating the motherfucking. He's appropriating culture all the way. He went basic white.
No,
he turned Karen.
Do this
appropriated Karen culture.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, you damn right. You damn right. Because We all evolve. Guess what? I would
Fuck
love
that.
to do that, but I had a first sergeant who did that shit, and the motherfucker got relieved. So now I know one thing right now: the culture that the United States Army is in is to where we are going to do things for the soldiers. So guess what?
Hold on.
If you're gonna
Go ahead. Finish your thought. Land your plane.
I say, if we're gonna do this for the soldiers, I'm gonna play the same game they playing, but the sphere of influence is different. So go ahead, hit me.
We got 1 minute before this shit calls out, and I got to resend out that link. Here's what I'm gonna say: the culture of the NCOs has gone to shit. Because back in the day, one NCO sees a private. All right, and we're back. Check it out, man. We're getting sidetracked a little bit over here because Hunt came over here with some woke bullshit. But we're gonna go back on track.
I'm usually on par with them. Bro, for real. I'm usually on par with you. But when you said mess with their money, you stabbed me. now I'm side-eyeing you.
So let me ask you.
At least, you can walk away from getting punched, but now you fucked up this person's whole financial situation. Now they're getting divorced. Now they're getting cheated on because they don't make enough money. You just did worse.
So let me go ahead and bring this back a little bit to the Marine Corps mentality. In the Marine Corps, should you have somebody that's like you were having those difficulties when you were assimilating or getting into your how did you find or what did you have to do?
Adapt and fucking become part of them. Become the motherfuckers. Oh, you want to tell me to whip it out? Oh, whip it out. What you gonna do about it? Do over. I used to, unfortunately, I got to that point where like I grew up with like single kid syndrome, always said, right? Where shit, I'll just do shit for attention. I'll do stupid ass shit. I'll do shit dollar and have my motherfucking. I told him my first sergeant picked that shit up on accident, and I was like, oh shit. So, and I've get a little story. This is how fucked up with this. I would not do this unless I adapted to the mentality of these people. So we had this thing, shit dog. Afghanistan, we bored as hell. Wipe your ass with a dollar. $20 bill, throw that shit in the middle of the fucking squad, in the middle of the fucking Connex box living areas.
Yeah.
See someone pick it up, put it in their front breast pocket. First sergeant did. First sergeant went down there because I didn't see him do it. He said he went there, said, "Ooh, $1." Put that shit in his front breast pocket. That motherfucker smelled like ass.
Oh, hey, best dollar you ever got.
That's how I learned. I adapted to the mentality because I was like, yo, real brotherhood. Especially the ones I knew that were not going to get out soon.
Yeah. So
like it's almost like what I would invest more energy into people which I know I'm going to deploy with. I know you're going to get out before we deploy. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like I fucked with who I know that I'm going to be in the vehicle with, the person I'm going to need to help if something happens to me, someone who knows my friggin' wife at the time, knows my family at the time. I kind of adjusted my efforts more towards them because there was a lot of people that were just like, yo, I'm out. I know y'all deploying in August or whatever. They even did a fake roster telling people, hey, we're going to be deploying in August. You gonna have any problems? Why a lot of people fucking put in medical shit at the last second, even people that didn't deploy. So they kind of we call it the red sheet. We call it it was the pink sheet, the pussy sheet. The pussy sheet was anybody who said, I'm gonna opt out of this. We're like, oh,
faggots. Dude, I tell you,
we were grimy. I'm saying we were listen, Marines infantry is it's a scumbag service, and like I said, I can't sit here and be like, oh, I was better. I took the high ground. No, I got dirty as fuck to do what I had to do to survive.
Well, here's the thing about it, bro. I mean, I think that in order to be in a combat MOS, as we call it in the military, in the Army, you have to have a certain mentality. You have to have a certain mentality. If not, it's going to break you. It's not just going to break you, but you're not going to fucking fit in. You're going to be a fucking square peg trying to fit in a round hole, and it's not going to make it. And the thing is, we get so accustomed to it that when we get out, we kind of on the sidelines of shit. We find humor where there shouldn't be humor. We become the motherfuckers that don't say, I hope a motherfucker doesn't do it. We don't do that. We say, I wish a motherfucker would, and we offend people just with our mere presence sometimes, but we get each other, and that's why that brotherhood is there. It's bonded. We're bonding through hardships. That hardship is what bonds us even more together, but that's why sometimes you got to throw hands with motherfuckers, and then shake hands afterwards. You know what I mean? One thing one of my chiefs did tell me a long time ago, though, was like,
you tell that guy that. He tells this guy,
yeah, for real.
You gotta punch your fucking
Hey, I'm falling out.
No, here's the thing.
Yeah. I'm a hit every piece of furniture. You may just push me, but I'm going around the whole fucking room and I'm knocking over every fucking thing.
Look, man, I'll tell you.
I am not getting up until the MP show up and they take pictures of the fucking room being fucked up. And I can be like, yo, I got hit so hard, I knocked all this shit over. Yo, take this motherfucker away.
Nah, man.
And then I'll be like, who else want to test the Dundada? See, I'm going to jail today.
Look, my chief, one of my fucking section chiefs, told me, look, as an NCO, if you ever get in a fight with a soldier, you better fucking win. You better win. I don't care if you got to grab them balls, twist and pull. I don't care if you got to grab a hammer and hit him in the motherfucking kneecap. You better
They
win.
gonna respect you unless you don't.
Exactly. So he had mentioned to me, because I think he did that shit you were talking about where he was in Bolick teaching fucking officers. And there happened to be a soldier of a bigger size than him that tried to punk him. And so he had no other choice but to grab something from the gun and start beating the fuck out of him in the leg. Because that's the only way he was going to win.
It happens.
The freaking hand, wait, the barrel?
No, not when we say gun, we mean I'm talking about a cannon. So we have the
hollow.
Night sticking him with the fucking front of him.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, it was probably a ramming staff. Is the only thing I could think of. You know what I'm saying? To beat the fuck out of him. I mean, he was a bigger motherfucker.
Or the rubber mallet.
Or but all I know is he beat the shit out of him, beat the brakes off of him. But you have to do that. I think that there's certain people that's called to do. You need to do that too. There's other motherfuckers that you can take them to the wood line and be like, hey, you really want to get your grievances out? Let's go. Well, then go handle that business, right? But there's others that ain't gonna just learn like that. So, and then those others that Hunt's talking about that you just write them up, and that's cool because they're the ones that we want out. We need to get them out the fucking military because they are not gonna adapt. You know what I mean? So,
that's what I was telling him. Like I've always told my story. Like I always said it. I told you before, I was a shitty ass garrison Marine. I always said I was not good at just I always my main focus was just like, yo, I want to go bang bang. I love the field. I love I'm up, they see me, I'm down. I love that shit. I ate that shit up. So when it came to fucking customs and courtesies, I see it, I would avoid officers. I'm like, I ain't swinging this motherfucker. I'm like, nah, we going, nah. Let me hold on. I'll be able to overhang at the chow halts. An officer, because the officers are beeline their way to try to get saluted. But hold on, I'm gonna go this way. I was gonna go this way, but I'm gonna go this way just to make sure you motherfuckers see me. We'd be like, nah, fuck this motherfucker. I hated that shit. So everyone's teaching has to be different. It just took me to freaking leave this damn country to fucking be like, hey, shit's real. Now I understand some of the fucking customs and courtesies. Oh shit. Yeah, I learned why we were doing the small things I thought that didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Now
I realize why they were there in the first place. So
can you give an example?
So I think of Marines as being more disciplined. I think as the Marines are being and this is no shade to the Army. And I told this story when I was a Bolick instructor, and we had the lieutenants and artillery Marine lieutenants, they still came to Fort Sill to train. And when it came time to fucking, cleaning up our fucking AO or whatever, it was just me and my soldier. And then we would have the lieutenants. And I'd always be like, all right, I need 5 for a detail. I need 5 people to come help me do this.
Oh, 5 don't want to go, not 10.
Bro, listen, I didn't have to say that. Those fucking Marine lieutenants, this is how disciplined they were. They would all be jumping up. Hey, Staff Sergeant, I got it, Staff Sergeant. What you need, Staff Sergeant? Without a hesitation. And I'm like, yo, that's the discipline. I don't know what the fuck they're feeding these motherfuckers, but they
lobster
would
and
always...
steak once a year.
yo, but I'm serious. And when I thought about Marines from that point, I was like, yo, this is the shit. The Marines discipline that they have to understanding it's not about me, it's about we collectively. That's the shit that I wish, because them Army lieutenants, they would be hanging back and it would always be the fucking Marine lieutenants.
Oh no.
And I'd be like, nah, fuck that.
it happens in the Marines, but the thing is, I think Marines take more offense when you refer to another Marine as being selfish. We take more offense because we always say Semper O is Semper I, not Semper Fi. Semper I. So just always you, right? Always you.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something it is, because I've always explained it when I started becoming an NCO and I started explaining shit to people. Literally, like, your mistakes will not cost your life. You will never be at fault and ever be at the losing end of your mistakes. It will cost someone else's life for your mistakes. And I never understood that till deployments and stuff like that. Okay, well, this Marine didn't check some shit, and let's say a Marine walks by and fucking he sees something wrong but doesn't say anything, right? You're as at fault as that, because it won't hurt you. Let's say I was off for my det cord timing, right? I didn't do my job right. If I'm not in the front of the stack, guess what? That's going to cost someone else's life. It's not going to be me. It's not going to be my life. And I always tell people that, like, that's why you got to think outside of just you, because it won't be you who gets directly affected. It won't cost your life. It will cost someone else's life. And I think in the Marines, a lot of times they say, like, do you want to tell set spouse, and they'll know the name of the spouse. Go tell freaking Jenny that Colin didn't come home because you did this.
But that's the thing, though, Petty. Like, y'all have that mentality, right? But it's like, even if you see this shit, like, and I know we're kind of going in circles, but even on Meal Talk alone, like, I don't see Marines on Meal Talk doing the dumb shit that non-commissioned officers are doing, and they're not understanding. Like you said, it's not about, for the Marines, Semper I, not Semper Fi. The United States Army non-commissioned officers are not understanding that they will, there's certain standards that they're going to have. Let me see. They're going to maintain a certain way. They're not going to compromise their integrity or their moral courage. They're, like I was telling Lopez, there's only one time in the non-commissioned officer when we say we as a collective. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it's like, this is what I'm going to do to make sure that the Joes are successful. The Joes have a comfortable way of life. But they're not understanding that shit. And for what you're talking about, like I said, with the Marine Corps, and just when I picture a Marine, I picture that motherfucking dog ass motherfucker. They got that dog in them from day one. You know what I'm saying? And I picture them soldiers. Well, I'm sorry, the Marines that understand that, hey, he got that dog in him. We got that dog in him. There's a certain lineage that we have to live up to. And they don't bitch, cry, complain, and saying, yeah, but it's like there's no bitching, no crying, no complaining that they're being unfair, they're living in the past or whatever. It's no, we have a legacy to live up to. Even as junior Marines, we have this. And I'm going to carry that as a certain way.
Yeah. Like I was telling Lopez before, I think it's because the sheer numbers of the Marines and stuff is the fact that the Army is so vast and so many numbers behind the Army. Obviously, you increase your odds of collective voice going out there that might not be the voice that needs to be heard for that branch. Like I said, like, and we were bringing to perspective, like, there's so little Marines. I think that's why there's more of that camaraderie. I think if, like, let's say the Army raises a couple of their standards up, instead of the you guys do 2.5 miles or 2 miles or whatever. Like, if you bump it up to like the 3, or just raise a little bit of maybe requirements, just a little bit, you can weed out a little bit of that shit too.
I blame the NCOs. I do blame the NCOs. I do, because, like I said, it's my mindset was once I got to when I got to that billet and when I got to that rank, I always explain shit to anybody junior about this motherfucker. I always explain shit to them that this isn't just you. This isn't my Corps. Because a lot of people say my Corps, and they're like, that's what people say to this day. I'm like, no, it's not yours. It's all of ours. Because before yours, it was chesty pullers. It was other people before this. But I just think because there's so little of us, it makes us we have nothing. We have to rely on each other. Right.
That's why we have our own air. That's why we have our own seat. That's why we have a lot of the jobs that you guys have too, to make it where we're self-reliant on each other. A little bit.
So let me talk to me about a little bit about your deployments. How was your deployments out there? Like, what did you guys do in
Afghanistan? Okay, so Afghan, she's not home. I don't know. Okay, well, go inside if she's not home. Okay. So baby, she's not opening the door. Come on. So for Afghanistan, we deployed. It was pretty much at that time it was a reserve unit. So we were in support of 19. I believe they were going to get ready for the push of Marja and Sangin, which was like the last Taliban big stronghold in Helmand Province at that time. Pick a room. So that's what we were going there at first. Once we got there, we started running. We ran this new operation called Aerial Hunter. So from us doing like fob rotations for like three weeks at this fob, going back to Leatherneck to re-gear, we will be on a permanent QRF. Once if we're on Leatherneck for 3 weeks, permanent QRF. So anything happens in this AO, we're talking about anything, we're flying out. So they tried this new thing called Aerial Hunter, where any high value target that was play cards or anything, because Highway 1, there's only that ain't that many. There's that one highway, you know what I'm saying? So we would be bunked next to the flight deck. At a moment's notice, we have to be up in the air within 5 minutes to intersect any HVT on Highway 1 that is called. So middle of the night, no matter what you're doing. Hey, you going to chow? You can't eat at the chow hall. Make sure you grab your chow, come back, because you need to be on rotation. So HVT or suspected friggin' terrorists or anything that has to do with any head of a Taliban, they would friggin' put us in the air ASAP. They would fly us from here, Dwyer, Delaram. Okay, so I think that's more on the eastern.
I was in RC East. That's where I was at. I was in RC East.
Okay, so that's probably closer to like we were talking about from Leatherneck to Kandahar. If there was suspected anybody crossing that highway, we were intersecting with the Ospreys. Freaking land. We have one land behind the vehicle, one land in front, bag and tag, give them to the people that don't wear uniforms. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I got you. The ones that wear fucking surf shorts and flip flops.
Yep, that's what we would do. So like I've ran when we were there, we did a personal security detail with General Petraeus. He went to, that's the thing, they didn't even tell us what town it is. I think it starts with a P, but it's on the farthest east side of Afghanistan. It was like a city, so I'm not used to this. I'm used to mud huts, wadis. I'm used to this.
Yeah,
full-fledged city, and like we don't know what's going on. He's meeting with elders, and we found out that it's classified, but they were eavesdropping on the country next door. So
yeah,
it was because JTAP was freaking joining with us. So there was you know what you know.
Yeah, because I was over. I was over in Jaff. Yep, I was over at Jaff and fucking So from Jaff, we were stuck at this one fob called Gambarry, where all we did was teach these fucking. We started up the first Afghan Army Field Artillery Training Center. It was something to be very proud of. It was teaching monkeys how to shoot fucking artillery, bro. It was stupid. But yeah, that's why I say my mission was completely different than a lot of motherfuckers, because a lot of my cats that I was with, they were at like Cop Joyce, or they were over at Monty, or they were over at Metaron.
I've heard Metaron. Yeah, I've heard that one. Yeah, there's some of them. That's why that's why I say the freaking camps I know. I'm like, I don't know these camps.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's so many camps out there all over spread. You know what's crazy is Afghanistan is such a beautiful fucking country, though, bro. Like, did you go to Bagram when you landed? Did you land in Bagram?
No, we straight Leatherneck. Leatherneck had a flight deck at that time.
So when we went to Manis, when we got to Manis, and then which is in Kyrgyzstan, we stayed there for a week or two, right?
I went there. Oh, I love that. That's the base of the Himalayas, man.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yo, didn't it trip you off seeing motherfucking Chinese that spoke Russian that were Muslim? That shit threw me off,
bro. No. Before that, I was up in Eastern Europe when I was tortured with Georgia, so I was used to that. I was used to Asians speaking Russian.
That's right.
Genghis Khan. Hey, blame that on Genghis Khan. Why Asian? There's a lot of Asian people that speak Russian.
You're right. But fucking no. What I tripped out on was when I got we flew from Manis over to Bagram. When we got to Bagram and saw those mountains, bro.
Yes.
I mean, it blew my fucking mind. Like, the mountains that we have out here are nothing, because these motherfuckers are I mean, it's like motherfuckers could have resorts out there, you know. Unfortunately, they want to kill us and take our heads off. But I mean, it was beautiful out there, bro. I loved it out there. Aside from the work that we have to do.
You can do backpacking now if you want. Shit.
No, I'm good, baby. I'm good. I ain't doing any shit. I did see some shit though on fucking, it tripped me out. I saw this shit on the New York Times or something on YouTube where they're having like fucking trips to Iraq, bro. Like, for motherfuckers to go out there, like fucking full blown touristy shit out there in Iraq. Yeah. I don't know how comfortable I'd be with that. I get it that the motherfuckers that went to the Vietnam War, they be doing that shit. I'm not 100% if I'm ready.
But the thing is, like, they do that shit like 40 years after. Like, yo, hey, most of the people you have troubles with are usually probably dead. Not the friggin', not friggin' people want to do a fucking anime revenge saga right here. Like, yo, you remember me?
Yeah, I'm for good. Real, right?
Let's wait about 20 years. Maybe we can go down there.
We'll 20, 30 years. Yeah. Let them all die out, bro.
I have to hide our freaking tattoo, our moto tattoos.
For real, dude. I still got my fucking American infidel on my wrist, but fucking, what's crazy? Yeah,
I had it on the inside lip, but a lot of people did that. Get on the inside lip, because it fades away, and I was like, "Ooh, thank God."
Dude, so I remember when we did QRF, it was a lot of downtime because the way we did our rotations, this is my first deployment to Iraq in 0506 with Hunt. We had different rotating missions. We have our main effort, which would be, taking fucking trucks from point A to point B in Iraq. Then we had our different ones, which would be like FOB security, which was basically just fucking keeping the FOB safe. And then we had the QRF, which was a different one where, you were just on call, like you said, once there's something pops within your AO, you want it. And then, so a lot of downtime on QRF. And basically, but like you said, nobody could leave that area. We were all in a different little area, or little fucking different part of the palace. We would get our chow, bring it over there, and just wait for, the call to come in. But what we did a lot was sleep and watch movies and shows. Like, are there any specific shows or like that you watched while you were there, like that you remember? It was either that or a lot of beating our meat and talking to like,
well, you know what? Probably both of those. So here's the one thing about me. I always said that's why anybody who might be able to recognize me if I say this. So I became a connoisseur of pornography in Afghanistan. So flash drives, obviously, you're not supposed to be having that, right? So I would have it shipped. The external hard drives, right? I would categorize. I probably had over 2,000 videos. I even categorized them, where I literally would have company commanders come in like, hey, I need your external hard drive. They called me the smut peddler. At that time I was Corporal Smut Peddler, because literally we have XLs. We literally have brass coming in and be like, yeah, I need this. I'd be like, okay, what category do you need, First Sergeant? Okay, what category you need, Gunny? No one wants to look at each other in the eyes, just like you at a peep show. You're like, help. Yep. You're like, okay, so what you want? You want Asian? Do we want Asian, interracial? What do we want here? Okay, well, I have it broken down. Over 2,000 movies. That was my specialty.
Bro, you were like in the old video store. You were the area behind the fucking bees. Shit.
I was
the bees. The bees. Holy shit.
That was the smut. I was Corporal Smut Peddler, man. I'm telling you, if I'm not a vehicle commander, and if I'm not on vehicle command that day, because I'm let my freaking sergeant, my boy JD, he's not with us no more. Freaking he's not. If he wanted the day off, I'd be vehicle commander. If not, I'm like, I'm trying to think about categorizing, trying to advertise my shit. Because hey, eventually you guys start making money off of this shit. People charging me $20 a pack of cigarettes. No, I'm going to charge you for this.
Bro, listen, it's funny that you say that, right? My last deployment, I was up in Kurdistan in Arbil, right? So we would do, it was supposed to be 3 months in Kurdistan, 3 months in Mosul, in Arbil. Like my last rotation to Arbil, like I was just like not doing shit, but I was moving shit. I knew when the soldiers were getting things in from the TCNs, and I would be like, nah, listen, you got to pay a piper. Like, I want some of the shit that you're getting in, the alcohol that you're getting in. And in turn for that, I'm going to make sure that when the room inspections is, I'm going to make sure that smoke and the LT don't fuck with you. You got my protection. And now here's the kicker. I still would give kickbacks when there's a certain indigenous, because we're going to be politically correct. We know an indigenous guy that lives in California, not California, but Colorado. He was with me. And there's a Laotian cat that was with us too.
Oh no.
Yeah. So like we literally like it was him and this. It was the guy that lives in Colorado. Myself. There was a dude from Mississippi. He was in golf company, and another fueler from golf company. We went out and we got booze ourselves. So that was cool. We didn't fuck with each other. But when I say them soldiers had to pay the piper, I had to get a cut of what they had coming in.
How you
Like, yeah,
gonna
I'm gonna
charge
make sure
them,
you're protected.
but they know you're gonna fucking take their money.
No, I didn't. No, they didn't have to give me money. You just had to give me the booze. You had to give me a certain percentage
of
the bottles that you had coming in.
Alcohol free for fucking alcohol free for 9 months. Bro, I was just living off my Grizzly wintergreen Rippets. Those little Rippets we would steal from the chow hall. You get a freaking whole pallet full of the Rippets, throw in the freaking back of the vehicle. Those little small miniature Rippets.
Yeah. Let me tell you about an Article 15 that happened because somebody was drinking.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that. So I caught an Article 15 or what y'all call NJP, because I got a little too fucked up on moonshine. So long story short, I didn't know what moonshine was. I had heard of it, but our old commo guy Robertson, he happened to come back from leave, and he mailed himself some moonshine in a Listerine bottle, and he put food coloring in it. And
everyone does the Listerine bottles. Yep.
Oh yeah, and I bought it from him for $20 for half a bottle of Listerine, the big one. And I didn't know it was gonna fuck me up the way it did, so I started mixing it with Rippets. That's why when you said Rippets, bro, I'm all about them Rippets, baby. I mixed it with Rippets, just started downing that shit. Next day, I missed movement. And I woke up hours later, still drunk as fuck. And yeah, I got lucky. I didn't lose rank. I got 45 and 45, which is 45 days restriction. I'm in Baghdad, bro. What am I gonna be restricted to? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. We didn't have any discipline. Unfortunately, yeah, I haven't seen any disciplinary actions done in country.
I got 45 days extra duty though. That I did feel, because they had my ass taking down sandbags, rebuilding the motherfucking sandbags. And the worst part is, remember I told you we were doing rotations. So we do our main effort, then we do QRF, then we do FOB security, right? During this time, I was our time was for QRF. Oh no, yeah, for QRF, and we had to do what they call rhino runs. So during the QRF, what you would do at night was we will go and clear what's known as Route Irish, most dangerous 6 miles in Baghdad. We had to clear it from the IZ down, which is the green zone, all the way to the BIOP, which is the airport. We had to go make sure it was clear for IEDs because the Rhino buses were picking up State Department people and bringing them back and forth. And they would only do that around 1, 2 in the morning. So I worked from 1800 to 11:59:59 or 23:59:59 on extra duty for 45 days and 45 nights. And then afterwards, I would go out and route clearance. So I had no sleep, bro. I was dying. I was fucking dying. And this is
at that point, you're danger. I don't know that at the same time, that actually puts everything in danger by doing that.
Oh, bro, I was in full kit doing this shit too. All right. It's not like I got to downgrade my gear. I'm on extra duty. So I'm in full kit, full battle rattle like a motherfucker. But I will tell you what my saving grace was. I was a PFC when this happened. All right. I was a PFC. And I got 45 extra days of duty, 45 days fucking of restriction, but my rank was only suspended. So in other words, I wouldn't get demoted, but I couldn't get promoted. All right. So, but get this, after my 45 days, I was only going to be flagged for a total of 3 months. This is prior to my 2-year mark. At 2 years in the Army, you automatically get E4 if you're an E3. I was an E3 PFC. So at the 2-year mark in November, bam, got my E4 because I wasn't flagged anymore. So I still made my rank on time. And I still, I still moved up even though I got my Article 15. Bro, I was on my way to becoming Sergeant Major of the Army. I had the DUI the fucking Article 15. I had the motherfucking divorce, the bad credit. Oh, what's going on, little man? Little girl, I can't tell nowadays. You know, I can't tell. I can't tell. I saw half the face and long hair. So,
Oh my god.
oh man. So yeah, those were my days. So we got drunk out there a lot. We did. Even in Mosul, we drank. I don't know how y'all didn't do it at all.
Y'all, that's that discipline. That's the discipline I'm talking about. Because
bullshit.
like,
You know, somebody was getting
no.
there.
I'm talking about yeah. Somebody was, but like, I know for my first 2 deployments. So I did 4 deployments to Iraq. My first 2 deployments, I didn't do shit. My 3rd deployment, I drank a little bit. My 4th deployment, I was drinking a lot. Like fucking the triple canopy guys were actually getting cocaine, well, should I say powder, to the fucking captain. He didn't give a fuck. And here's the deal too. I would also, the cut that I would get, I would give to the captain. So he was literally like the mafioso. He was like the fucking mob boss. You know what I'm saying? So everything got to go through fucking him because he protected everybody at the end of the day. So he would get his cut. I would get my cut. The soldiers would get, they have their little fun too. But it was our bill. Everybody knows our bill. It wasn't shit. Like they were not gonna fuck with us in our bill.
So Erbil
like, everybody
was Kurdistan, bro. Over there, just
hey,
think of,
I'm sorry to end it. I gotta head out. They're
you're good, there, brother.
But I appreciate you having me on. Like I said, just hit me up ahead of time, man. I can get more time in. They're getting wild here.
I got you, man. No doubt. We'll talk later, and I'll definitely, we'll definitely link up again, man. Because this one was all over the place, so I don't even know how I'm gonna put this one together.
I'm sorry, man.
Put it together.
You're good. I appreciate you, Petty. You have a good one, man. Enjoy your weekend. All right, brother. I'm gonna let you go ahead and handle your business because now I got to figure out how I'm gonna put all this shit together. All right,
bro. Just let it fucking flow
with like, all of it. All the fucking.
Well, I would say do what you. Well, just let it flow.
All right, fuck it. I'm gonna put them all together. I'm gonna put them all together. It's gonna be like a 3-hour episode, so we'll see whoever watches.
This is a special, yeah.
Yeah, it is
a special episode.
This motherfucker went all over the place, man.
It's good though. You gotta say shit up, man.
Yeah.
I liked it. I actually liked it, man. A different perspective. We started off with our shit. We got the jarhead up in here. I fucking like the way it was, man.
Yeah, I did too.
Bullshitting, joking and shit.
Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. It's just like I really wish we would have had it from the beginning because then we would have had a whole perspective on everything from the NCO creed all the way through. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, overall, I think it went great. I really enjoyed this episode. I mean, shit, we're talking about 3 hours here that we've been on because we started about what 12:30.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it has been about 3 hours. And I had to take a little sabbatical to get something to eat.
It's all gravy, baby. I got to go check on some people out here, make sure they're still alive. Full disclosure, the old lady is in bed sick. Fucking then the 3 kids are over here. Yeah, all right. Should be all right. Then the 3 kids are over here. I bought them some Little Caesars to, By the way, when did Little Caesars stop being $5 per large pizza?
I don't know, because it used to be $5 a pizza, but everything's going up, man.
Yeah, everything done up now.
I kind of fuck with Little Caesars. I haven't in a while, but yeah. Matter of fact, we're still gonna talk offline, maybe tomorrow or something. I know it's not gonna bring it up, but we'll talk offline tomorrow or Tuesday about some more shit, man.
Yeah, I got you, man. God damn it. Let me wrap this shit up, bro, because I need to go take a smoke. I need my lungs are calling for a Newport. So with that said, everybody, I hope y'all had a great time. I got to figure out how to do this shit. And if y'all enjoyed this one, cool. It's gonna be like a Joe Rogan long episode. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. And if y'all didn't, tell me why you didn't enjoy it, so maybe I can fucking fix it. All right. Other than that, rounds complete, end of mission, Gunline out. Go to fucking TikTok, like and follow King Virgo, motherfucking 82. And
yeah, also, like and follow on the Gunline podcast. Make sure y'all do that.
OTGL_podcast. All right, go find it. It's on the gun. It's OTGL_podcast. Go follow it. I need 1,000 motherfuckers so I can go live, so I can get canceled within 3 days. All right. With that being said, I love you all. March order, motherfuckers. I'll catch y'all later. Deuces.
Later.